below 13, it's immediately the ghost room. That's how it used to work back in the day. That's why this was so overpowered.
That's not even
Another
worth picking
board?
up, boss.
Well then. We've been getting so many boards in every game. Very lucky. Like, literally every game we've played had the board. That's kind of crazy. Hello? Is there a ghost here? I mean, there's gotta be a ghost here. Where? Maybe in the... Where? It gave me a low temperature value when I was walking back to the door. So it has to be in one of these rooms. Wait, it knocked on the window. Maybe it's... And I would step over there? Aha. It's in. Okay, here you are. I see you. Wanna show me anything? Are the YouTube hidden? They might be, but then they should be below. Should be if you scroll down. Here. Got a date with the OG. We can't set up the table though. We can't put like the candles on the corner of the table because they can't place them. What did you leave on the desk for me? The key's already gone, man. You lied to me. It knocked on the window, so there might be fingerprints. I need to turn this on. Fuck, I think for that note. Walking back to the house. It drains like a little bit of my left. Excuse me? Wanna write in this book? Oh, Jesus! What? Excuse me? Wanna write in this book? Oh, Jesus! What the fuck? Dude, let's go! It's a poltergeist! What the fuck? That's insane! Oh my goodness. That's so cool! Back in the day, man! We already had those cool moments. Like, this wasn't just any game. This was the Phasma. Actual poltergeist. Let's see if I can actually... I'm curious if I can take those fingerprint photos. We've got literally everything this game. What the hell? So cool. That's me for sure. Motion sensor? I'll place a motion sensor real fast. EMF reader? I'll get you one of those. Ruyi, thank you for the 11 months. Oh, sick. Yeah, we're... The whole EMF noise. I still love it. Can I get this photo? There is a fingerprint here, right? There is. This fingerprint is still in the game till this day. Does it work? It did actually work. Now does it work on the light switch too? That one worked as well. Alright. Let's take a photo of the... Is that a ghost event? It's 4. It has to be a ghost event. What the fuck is going on? Holy shit, this ghost is crazy, man!
Someone there!
Dude, are the abilities like super cracked on this version? That's crazy. What? How old are you? Can I take this photo? Why is he following me? got a few. Oh wait, I forgot the phone. Oh, it's fine. Let's go. Oh, let's quickly check if it's over here. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't. Stand on the table. I mean, we have the board, so we could do some hunt shenanigans. You know what? Okay. Let's quickly find the bone before we do that, and then we'll go drop our sanity, stand on the table or on this, and see and look at the goat while it's hunting. What do I think of the Asylum rework? I think it's gonna make Asylum lose a little bit of its special value. Like right now, it's such a horrendously bad map sometimes, and it's kind of gonna become like a pretty average, just okay, it's Asylum kind of map. I think it'll just be like high school basically. So I'm not the biggest fan of it myself, but it is a very, very large map. That is correct. Okay, there you go, the small little itty bitty bone. Let's get you, and then go stand on the kitchen island. Do the basement glitch? You can't do the basement glitch on this version. We tried that last time, and it actually gets you soft locked. You get stuck on the wall. It worked only on a later version of the game. That. Oh shit. That was very close. A loud footstep. The ghost will immediately start walking, but it won't actually be able to kill you or chase you until like a few seconds have passed. Also, I don't have to turn off my equipment. I don't have to be quiet. If I open this door, that's the only way I could die. But any other way, I'm invincible. I'm invincible in this closet. The ghost can't even touch the door. Even back in the day when they added voice recognition during hunts, you could still talk in a locker for the longest time because they didn't give the ghost abilities to open doors yet. Like, the ghost won't touch any doors on this version, which means that that it's like very hard to know where it is, but it also won't leave fingerprints during a hunt. It won't like leave any trace during a hunt. It won't throw items, obviously, during a hunt. Like, we all take these things for granted now, but they weren't in the game for the longest time. Let's grab a smudge and get on the kitchen island now. You turn off the breaker? Really? No way. Wait, no you didn't. No you didn't. Can I get up here without dying? Did you do it like this? It's a bit tricky. There you go. Uh-oh. Did it do it again? Oh! It did! We canceled the hunt! It canceled the hunt! That used to happen all the time. All the time the hunt would cancel because it would decide to throw something right as it started. Is it actually like doing its ability every other like moment? It sounds like it. Poltergeist is insane, man. Let me get up here. There you go. Okay, I don't know if I'm safe here. Like, I might just die, but I kind of deserve it, to be honest. Here it goes! Oh, let's see into the universe. You're safe here, duck. You'll die for science, exactly. Oh. Yeah, you're right here. What are you gonna do, dumbass? How many people did you kill, huh? How many people did you kill? How many people did you kill? Oh, you're gonna say 0? Well, I don't believe you, you piece of garbage. Attack. Attack me. Kill me, show us. Show us. You'll die if you crouch? Oh. Show us. Run, scared, hide. Show us. You attack me? I don't know, but standing in crowd, I feel safer when I stand like this. Anyway. Come on.
Hey.
Tell me what you want.
Show us. Hide.
Over here.
What the hell?
Sure
I can
thing.
open those all the way from over here? Wait, that's crazy.
Wait there.
Absolutely. And my...
Give me a sign. I have long arms. Hide and seek. You little piece of shit. Show us. Show us. That's not awkward. Or do another polter ability. Give me a sign. It just kind of stopped hunting. Maybe it's because I'm not in the map when I'm like standing up straight. Like I'm in the ceiling and it doesn't. There you go. He's just walking away. Hello? Wait, it doesn't even see me! It doesn't even see me! It's just walking to the... Will I die if I crouch? I might just... Where are you? I can't hear anything. Will I die? No, it can't see me! It literally can't get to me! What the fuck, man? Okay, this is some weirdo shit. The equipment and everything doesn't glitch out during the hunt. That was also added. Much. Dude, the boulder, man! This coast is really not what it used to be, is it? I mean, maybe we just have the craziest poltergeist imaginable. But that's like the 5th time it did its ability. Hey, you bug out. You used to be able to bug out the door, and then you could... Man, this ghost is really messing up the table. It has to make a shutting noise, though. You can still do this, by the way. What are you gonna do, huh, bitch?
What?
What are you gonna do, huh? You gonna kill me, dumbass? You can't. Kill me. Try me. Put you on side. You're the one that can kill you.
Fuck.
I broke the game.
Really?
You used to be able to do this, as
I
I
just
showed
don't
now.
normally die from
Also,
those.
there used to be so many candles everywhere. Kind of risky. All right, let me leave now. That was an experience. That's how you used to. You used to be able to break every door and then just stay open during the hunt. And you could just walk off. It was very weird. What a game. What a game. Goodbye, Mr. Poltergeist. Didn't even collect any evidence against this guy, just except the... What is even the evidence for Poltergeist? I don't know, man. Okay, there we go. There you go, it was a Poltergeist. What a fantastic ghost. Well, that has gotta be a perfect showcase of why this is such a scary game, even back in the day. Back in the good old days. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you're not subscribed, please do so. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike it,
Welcome back. Looking to trade?
Alright, well, $100 it is then. Awesome, man. Well, you enjoy, and good luck.
I might be a
Alright,
doctor
catch
one
you
day.
later.
Or maybe a sharpshooter.
Hey, what the heck is this? This gun is way too dirty.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
See something you like.
Uh-huh.
What's up, everybody? My name is Scott, and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics. We're back on the range, and today we're going to conduct yet another science experiment with a 50 cal. But not just any 50 cal. Let me go show you what we got, and we're going to get started. So here recently, we recreated my accident from April 9th, 2021, when my RN-50 exploded and almost killed me. An overcharged round of 190,000 PSI is what ended up blowing the gun. And the #1 comment was, what would happen if you put that same round in a Barrett semi-automatic 50 cal? The problem with that is a Barrett is about $10,000. Well, luckily, you're watching the best YouTube gun channel there is, and here at Kentucky Ballistics, your comments and ideas matter. So today, we're gonna...
Hi.
Hey again. Step right up. A little bit of everything.
Let's see what you got.
You may have to dig a
Real
little.
quick, the RN-50 is a single-shot, breech-loaded 50 BMG, and this is a semi-automatic
Hey,
gas-operated.
let me take a look at you. See where it
We're comparing
hurts.
apples to oranges, but I still want to know what's going to happen when we load a
Best
much
not to
care for
talk to
good neighbors.
raiders.
That
They can
place
get
is
rough.
nothing but
Take a few
trouble.
test shots with this thing,
I'm just
make
so
sure it
hungry all the
functions
time.
correctly, and then we're going to load a super hot round in. Okay, so just like the last time, we have a cinder block wall here that we built. We drilled a hole through the cinder block wall.
Yeah.
We have a string that
Carla.
goes about 150
Need to pick
feet
something up?
that way. We're
It's
gonna be
pretty
behind
long.
the truck.
Sure.
The gun will
Let's take a
be
look.
on
Here's
the
what I
side of the
got.
wall. So if or when it blows up, we should be 100% safe. I also have a ballistic dummy lad torso to put behind the gun, so if there is an explosion, we'll see if any of that shrapnel would hit you and potentially be fatal. I'm really curious to see what happens today. What do you think is going to happen? Leave your answers in the comment section down below. While you're at it, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. So in my scientific opinion, I think the best way to check the function of this gun is by doing a mag dump. Well, I'd say it's working pretty good. So now that we did our functions test on our Barrett, we got it set up and ready for the test. There's going to be a slow-mo camera just off frame, so if the gun does blow up, we'll catch it all in slow-mo. I have a ballistics dummy lab torso here. It has lifelike organs and bones inside it, so if we have shrapnel, we'll see if it would be fatal. Even though
Mom
we have
runs
a
the surgery,
burn
so
suit
you
in,
better
I
be
went
nice to
ahead
me.
and added extra stuff just in case. Got a ton of ballistic gel, body armor, bulletproof glass, and a steel target. Better safe than sorry, right? So now we're going to take one test shot. That way we have something to compare to when we start loading in the hot round. This thing got partially destroyed in the last test, but it's still good. We're going to have that around the trigger attached to a string. We're going to be about 150 feet that way and behind the truck. Clipping on safe. And I'm just going to load these by hand. Take the safety off. Alright, test shot #1. Here we go. Sounded pretty normal. Okay. Looks like the gun functions normally. We have our vent casing right here. I couldn't do that again if I tried. Are you good? So we went through all the ballistic gel, all the body armor. We hit the bulletproof glass, and then we knocked over this big steel target also. So now we're going to load this in there. This round should produce 190,000 PSI. It's the exact same load that we used to blow the RN-50. Now let's see what it's going to do when we put it in the Barrett MH2
And folks, place your predictions in the comment section down below. And again, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Safety is coming off. Okey-dokey. Let's get out of here. Here we go. All right. Oh, there we go.
Jesus.
I hear stuff hitting the tree, so it may not have worked out too well for the bear. Oh my God! Oh, wow! That bear is toast. Well, I was kind of curious what was going to happen because it's a semi-automatic platform, so that means that the bolt is going to come back, relieving pressure. I didn't really expect it to blow like this. Okay, so I've moved everything to this table so that we can analyze it a little bit. Let's start with the dummy. He was a little beat up before, like in shipping, he kind of got this little split right here. But he's got some new marks. So right here was not there before, and you can see there's a little mark on his rib. So it made it into him and hit his rib. He also took a piece of shrapnel right here. You can see it goes inside him, and it's actually right here. And I'm going to try to dig that out. So judging from the explosion and what happened to the dummy, would you have survived? I don't know. I really can't say that. I don't know how hard this piece of shrapnel hit. Also, if it would have hit over here, it could have went in between a rib, and now it's in your lung or possibly to your heart. You just don't know in those situations. But I can say this. I would not have wanted my face on that gun when it went off with that super spicy round. And I can say this because I speak from experience. Now, let's look at the gun. I'm going to be 100% honest. I was not expecting this much damage. I expected the lugs to shear off and then the bolt to fly back super hard, cracking the rifle in some spot. I was not expecting a full-blown explosion. So starting with the back of the gun, you can see that when this went off, it forced the top of the receiver this way and the bottom this way. We have a huge bulge on top and a huge bulge on the bottom. In the slow-mo, I couldn't really see if the round came out of the barrel, and I don't think it did. That was a brass solid, and I believe that it pretty much just exploded because there's bits of brass color all inside this and all over the bolt. Looks like our carry handle held up pretty well, though. Now the barrel. Barrel completely came off. There's damage to the thread, but they are not completely sheared off. It looks like there's pieces of the bullet inside the barrel. The springs on the front of the gun are all kinds of warped, but the barrel did not explode. It doesn't look like anything actually made it down the barrel. I think that bullet actually just broke up from all the pressure. Like I said, that was a 750 grain brass solid, and it was producing 190,000 PSI. Normal operating pressures for a 50 BMG is 55,000 PSI, so that was really spicy. The bolt held up pretty well. We have some damage to the face, and it is cracked, but it's mostly intact. Another reason I think that bullet just broke up inside the gun is this is painted with a nice brass color now. that was destroyed also when the pressure was going downward. It looks like it came down through the mag, blowed it out, and completely destroyed the inside. So what did we learn from this? Would I have survived on April 9th, 2021 if I was shooting a Barrett instead of my RN50 when I loaded that super hot round unknowingly into my gun? Well, that's up for today. These things are very violent, very unpredictable. The Barrett definitely would have exploded, and shrapnel still would have went into my body. Probably still would have had a broken hand, and probably still would have jacked my face up. Regardless, I don't think it matters what 50 BMG you're shooting. If you get an overcharged round, you're going to have a bad day. So now we've blown up an RN50 and a Ferris Wheel I'm even more curious. Now I want to know what happens to other 50 BMGs and other guns when they're open pressure. How will they blow, and would you survive? Is this something you would like to see more of, and if so, what gun would you like to see next? Your answers in the comment section down below. Alright, well that's going to be it for today's video. It was a very exciting day of filming, and I had a lot of fun, other than the fact that we had to blow up a Barrett, but it was in the name of science, so it was totally worth it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, do me a big favor, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure and check me out on Kentucky Ballistic Shorts, Kentucky Custom, Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links to all those can be found in the description down below, along with a link to KentuckyBallistics.com. Just in case you want to support the channel by picking up a shirt. And as always, my name is Scott. Thank you so much for watching Kentucky Ballistics. I'll see you next time.
The command room of his secret shadow collective base, cunningly carved into the side of a featureless asteroid in uncharted space. He had every reason to feel that way. On their knees and bound by their wrists, two of the most powerful lightsaber duelists in the galaxy, Count Dooku and General Grievous, were his captives, and they made quite a pathetic pair. Perhaps his victory over Sidious's highest-ranking generals would finally teach Maul's former master a lesson. Maul wasn't someone who you should carelessly toss to the side. It had only been a few days since Maul had drawn Grievous and Dooku into a treacherous battle on the surface of Ord Mantell, devastating the Separatist army in the process. With the momentum of victory pushing him forward, Maul tried to gain more and more ground, hailing Palpatine in order to negotiate the release of his prisoners. Your schemes are unraveling, Sidious, the Dathomirian said, as he convened a private meeting with Darth Sidious over holoprojector. The Sith Master, always calm and collected, didn't seem to be bothered by the unfortunate turn of events, although concealing his emotions was something that Sidious practiced quite a bit. Maul couldn't help but notice that the brim of Palpatine's cloak cast an especially dark shadow over the Sith's eyes, and the holoprojector's blue hue only made it harder for the Shadow Collective boss to decipher the small movements in his former master's face. Maul needed a sign, a twitch, an involuntary shudder, anything that would betray Palpatine's true feelings. Without your generals, your armies would be crushed, as were your plans, Maul continued, relishing the notion that he actually took something of value from Palpatine, and the irony that Maul held Sidious's new apprentice, Count Dooku, wasn't lost on the Dathomirian. So much for finding a stronger replacement. That only proves their weakness, not my own, Palpatine said in response, his voice never rising above the calm, low tenor that his former apprentice knew so well. What are your demands? Although Palpatine maintained a cool exterior, he would prefer if his new apprentice, the very being in charge of the Separatist movement, didn't die before he had a chance to use the aging former Jedi to its full extent. Maul took Sidious's words as permission that he could push further, and excited by the prospect of Palpatine begging, Maul theatrically curled his hand into a fist before replying, "Not my demands, but the Talzin's. Yes, you remember the mother." Maul growled as he inched closer and closer to the holoprojector. "She was your ally, but you used her and used me before throwing pressed the button on its side, ignited the blade, and placed it inches from Dooku's throat. So be it, since new apprentices are apparently so easy to find. Again, Maul let the same hang-up spoil the opportunity for Mother Talzin, and Maul's own Shadow Collective to get the most out of the negotiations. Tread lightly, Maul. Revenge is a dangerous game, one you never seem to win. Palpatine warned, then suddenly clicked the broadcasting dial on his holoprojector device off. As Maul turned to face his prisoners, weighing what fate he should dole out, a group of Jedi commanders met aboard a Republic Venator-class Star Destroyer less than a light year away. This confirms our intel from the Mandalore Resistance that the alliance between Prime Minister Almec and the Underworld is still intact. Mace Windu, Master of the Order, said through grim eyes as he looked at the object in fellow Master Elixir's hands. The blue-skinned Twi'lek who had won fame in the first Battle of Geonosis held a red Death Watch helmet, a sign that the worst was yet to come. As the Jedi moved to a hologram map of the local star system, Obi-Wan Kenobi twirled their planet's orbit around until he revealed the underside of a nearby asteroid belt. Maul could be lurking in the shadows there, Kenobi stated. Realizing what they had to do, the four Jedi, Sakura, Windu, Kenobi, and the Mikion Master known as Tipli looked at each other, sharing a somber moment. After a heavy sigh, Kenobi broke the silence. Master Tipli and I will investigate that outpost and see what comes scurrying out when we shine a light on it. Back at the Shadow Collective base, deep within the side of an otherwise unremarkable asteroid, Maul deactivated his lightsaber. With a quick command, he ordered his troops to escort Grievous to a holding cell until Maul could figure out a way to use the Separatist commander for his own purposes. That left the Dathomirian alone with Count Dooku. Another chance for the Sith acolytes to talk. I left you here to make you an offer, Maul stated as he stood in front of the transparent windows of his den, looking at the smaller fragments of asteroids and iron ore float by in parallel lines. You abandoned the Jedi when you understood the Sith were gaining power. Now I suggest you abandon Sidious and serve me. There it was. Maul's personal grudge against Sidious knew no boundaries. In order to get revenge against his former master, he was willing to team up with one of the beings he hated most in the galaxy, his replacement and a former high-ranking Jedi. Even though Mother Talzin undoubtedly ordered Maul to try and seduce Dooku to their cause, Maul's focus was falling ever closer to exacting his own revenge. Do you really believe there is any power in the galaxy that can stand against my lord? What hope will you have? Dooku responded, remembering the raw power Sidious had demonstrated time and time again, and well aware that no number of Sith or Jedi could possibly defeat him. Sensing that his words alone wouldn't be enough to bring Qui-Gon Jinn's former master to his cause, Maul allowed his body to once again become a vessel for Mother Talzin. Green smoke filled the room, curling around Dooku's tall form until Mother Talzin finally emerged.
Sidious is deceiving you as he once deceived me,
she warned, hovering weightlessly above the cold steel floor of the asteroid base.
Sidious will betray you as he betrayed us, but I will honor our alliance should you accept it.
As the powerful Night Sister waited for Dooku's answer, an alarm rang through the base. My lord, we have incoming Republic ships, a breathless Mandalorian trooper said as he sprinted to Maul, interrupting the private meeting between the Sith. Lock their transmission before they can scan us, Maul ordered, annoyed that Dooku wouldn't have time to answer. Noticing that his master now held a lightsaber hilt in his hand, the Mandalorian hesitated before telling Maul the next bit of bad news. With a deep gulp, the infantrymen forcefully spurted it out. It's too late for that. They already know that we're here, as Maul's mind raced with all the ways the upcoming battle against Republic troops might unfold. Dooku took the chance to release Grievous from his cell. The Sith apprentice was handcuffed, but he still could use the Force, so he telekinetically pressed a small red button on the command console across the room, and deep beneath them, in the inner cavities of the asteroid, the general's cell door opened. As Grievous tore through the Mandalorian guards on the lower levels, staining his white armor red with their blood, an incoming Republic fleet jumped into the dangerous space above the Shadow Collective base. Maul responded by unleashing several wings of gauntlet fighters, but they failed to down the most important ship, Obi-Wan's transport. Barreling past a final volley of enemy fire, Kenobi's box-shaped LAAT landed in the asteroid's hangar with a thud, and both he and Master Tipli wasted no time. They ignited their blue lightsabers and leapt into battle, as dozens of clone troopers ran to join them. Elsewhere, Dooku still hadn't offered his reply to Maul's, hoping to gain some leverage in the situation. Jedi Order, and now that he had turned to the Sith, his powers had only doubled. For all of Kenobi and Tipley's bravery, they simply weren't strong enough to defend against the combined power of Darth Sidious's two greatest apprentices. As smoke continued to fill the hangar, the glow of the 4 lightsabers hummed louder and louder. But
Look, I'm trying to
could be struck. A powerful voice from behind a wrecked lander. This has
You know
gone
what I call
far
a good
enough.
day?
Dooku,
One of
Master
them's without
Windu
an
had
episode.
arrived, joined by Master Sekira. The fight now favored the Jedi, or did it? Unwilling to wait any longer, Dooku quickly reached his left hand into the air and released a storm of Force lightning onto the Jedi. Kenobi and Tipley barely had enough time to reposition their lightsabers to deflect the blow. Although their blades absorbed most of the attack, a fraction of the painful electrical pulses transferred from the hilt of their weapons into their bodies. On the other side, Maul simultaneously swung his darksaber at Windu's legs while delivering a devastating kick to Aayla Secura with his cyborg-enhanced legs. The fight was pure chaos, and of course chaos favors the Sith. Realizing Force lightning wasn't enough to kill his opponents, Dooku used the Force to pull Master Tipley towards himself. Come here, little Jedi. I have something to show you. And with a quick turn of his wrist, he plunged his razor blade into her belly. Master Tipley! Kenobi shouted, tears cascading down the side of his face. Another Jedi. Another life senselessly snuffed out in a war that didn't seem to value life at all. As Kenobi struggled to keep the grief swelling within his body from overwhelming his senses, a pair of Mandalorian soldiers prepared a rocket launcher on the edge of the battlefield. The missile screamed across the hangar, exploding right in front of Mace Windu and Sekira, knocking both masters unconscious. Cradling Master Tipley's lifeless body in his arms, Kenobi ordered a group of clone troopers to apprehend Maul and Dooku. They're heading for the gauntlets! Don't let them escape! But with the Republic forces in disarray, the Sith didn't feel any urgency. The pair quickly boarded one of the Mandalorian fighters and headed to Dathomir, where Mother Talzin would know what to do. They left behind a dead Jedi Master and nearly killed Mace Windu and Aayla Secura as well. A dark day of tragic losses for the Order and the Republic, which it served. Hope you guys enjoyed issue number 3.
Got a problem?
Dathomir. This is an amazing comic book.
Yes.
I highly recommend you go pick it up yourself and check out the artwork. It's really beautiful and impressive. Hopefully we get this in a spin-off show someday, or as a like 6-episode arc or 10-episode arc or something. I'd love to see that streamable or even as a movie. Hope you enjoyed today's comic video. Please leave a like if you did, and I will see you in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until
Valentine is one of the best made characters in Fallout 4. He has one of the best written backstories. He has something important to say in nearly every... We're going to be talking about some minor side quest plot spoilers in this video.
How are you doing? Welcome back to Basketball again. In this video, we found you guys that went absolutely crazy on the paramite. You seem to have buffed the frequency of paramite noises, which also affects certain ghost types a lot more than others. I really hope you enjoyed. If you guys subscribe to this video, like the video, like, dislike, but let's not waste any more time. Let's hop into the game. We got Mark. Hell, not Christmas. All hunted. Well, that's the. Can also be done outside of it.
There you
We've
go.
done 3 tarot cards in a row. Can we get a 4th? Can we get a 4th one, baby? Our streak was bounded. That's literally right here. Excuse me. Also EMF 5. What the fuck? Okay. Well, this is a speedrun and a half. Play the game. Get all the evidence. Miling. We need to check. Miling would be freezing? No, that, no, right. Breaker. Please be Miling. I really want to hear the noise. I want to hear the cracked up Miling noise. Right,
I love old world widgets. Worth a fair amount, too.
It is not be spirit box? Alright, talk to me. Talk to me. You are not supposed to be here. This is not your room. Where's my EMF? There you go. If you didn't believe me, just leave a button. Okay. Let's go. We need to do dots
Fighting time. Let's see if they left anything useful for us.
I want to see a Miling. I want to hear the insane paramite.
I hear something.
Oh, there.
No fight today.
Like running a little bit, but that's okay. That's acceptable. Keep it to a minimum. Wait, Obake? Oh, it's Obake. But listen to. Okay. So you're in there, right? I want to hear you. It's writing in the book. It's writing in the book. It's actually a Miling. Come on, yell at me, baby.
What?
I got it. The Miling.
Who's there?
We've done it. We get another photo cam. Listen, I'm gonna smudge you. I'm gonna get a photo cam, and we're gonna listen. If the Miling is actually more frequent on the paramite, because I've never had that matter ever. I like the Banshee feels more active on the paramite now than the Miling ever had. So I wanna hear it. We have found it.
Good fight, human.
There you go.
You
Good.
got it well.
Now. Oh, that's good. I'll take it. Give me a sign. I don't have. I'll take all the pictures.
this. We got fun time incoming. We're almost got it.
Only one of us survives this! And it won't be you!
Oh shit, that's actually great. Oh, I can't die now. Oh, that's... Oh, don't kill me in here, please. I don't want to lose that.
Who's there?
Oh shit. Oh, sorry.
Say that.
This is a tall building, but I didn't know there was still this much left. Wow, such a good use of a fucking stealth boy. Oh fuck. That's not good.
If you really want to test for mileage, you should just walk out of... We're still pointing in the right direction. Yeah, walk back in.
is.
Fuck, that took forever to fucking do. Time to save and then run back. Really? Caution? Who's here?
If someone builds defenses like that, they're building it for a damn good reason.
Now I go.
Whoa, dude, it does it a lot. Like a lot more than normal does.
I might be a doctor one day.
There's only like 2-3 different paramite
Excuse me.
I fixed up most of what's here myself, so it's all guaranteed.
We're
Unless
gonna
you need to
continue.
return it.
We're doing a prison now,
Sure.
and then the final
Let's take a look.
is gonna
You
be
got the caps?
a
I got the
silence.
goods.
Cool. Alrighty, here we are. We are on.
Oh, I think the While you're walking around downtown Boston, it's hard to miss the Trinity Tower broadcast. You can call it up on the radio on your Pip-Boy.
Help, or Mayday, or whatever it is one says on a radio. My name is Rex Goodman. I'm being held prisoner on the top of Trinity Tower. I think the super mutants plan on eating me soon. Setting this to repeat. Oh shit! Gotta sign off. One of the super mutants is coming!
Sounds like a perfect job for the sole survivor. But first, where did Rex come from? And how did he get to Trinity Tower? To find out, we've got to travel to the WRVR radio broadcast station. You can find the station to the southwest of Diamond City. It's really close to Egret Tours Marina. The station itself looks like a little run-down bunker. The WRVR sign on top of it should look fairly familiar to you if you're a fan of Weird Al Yankovic. The lettering is modeled after the lettering for UHF. In that movie, Yankovic was in charge of a UHF television station. And in this game, the WRVR is an underdog radio station. You can see the similarity. Inside, we find George Cooper and Anne Hargraves. The WRVR broadcast station comes up with their own plays, kind of like how Yankovic Olympics, UHF, came up with its own ridiculous TV shows. The male voice actor for the radio plays is George Cooper.
Would kill me in seconds. Rex got himself into this mess. He'll have to figure out how to get out of it. Rex sounds like he's gotten himself into trouble again. I suppose.
If we had a good supply of clean water, things would be pretty good.
Excuse me.
If you're looking for armor, I may have something you can use.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
Great.
Appreciate the attempt at levity, but my mood is quite dour. What with Rex being in the hands of those brutes. Say something like that. It is fortunate that you're not a man of temper, or else I would set upon you right here and now.
He constantly talks in a theatrical style, and he's actually really hilarious. Every now and then he'll do vocal exercises, which are just ridiculous.
She sells seashells by the seashore. Local warm-ups.
Anne Hargraves does all of the female characters for the radio plays.
Worried about that. Those super mutants are so brutal. I'm sure he can handle himself. Right. How would you know? Never met him. He's well attached, but he's a fool. Great grand fool. Forget him. He'll be dead soon. Cold thing to say. Rex is my friend and mentor. I'm going to walk myself like that. You don't know how this will turn out. We hope and pray that he somehow makes it out of this alive. What do you do here? I used to make the costumes for our plays. Back when we still put on live shows. That. So now I'm just one of the actors in Rex's radio play.
Rex was the man on the Trinity Tower broadcast. He is their co-worker and Anne's mentor. Both George and Anne request that you rescue him from the tower.
What would you have me do?
Why, mount a rescue, of course. Gather together what men you can and storm their lair. I should think 30 or 40 could do.
I suppose you want me to go help.
Oh, I thank you for offering. I'm ever so grateful.
Don't forget to get the Live and Love issue number 3 magazine, which is on the table in the middle of the room. This magazine grants +10 carry weight for all companions. Despite supposedly being a working radio station, you don't actually find a broadcast in the game for the WRVR. Perhaps this can be explained by the Notice to WRVR note that we find on a nearby table. In the note, we learned that before the bombs dropped, the military had installed a bunch of nearby relay towers that are operating on the same signal that the WRVR station is operating on. You find those relay towers that are mentioned in this note all over the place, and you can even interact with them. Perhaps you never find a signal from WRVR because the signal is being consumed by the military relay towers. Indeed, if you go on top of the roof of WRVR, you see their radio antenna does not have any of the dishes deployed, and there's no option for you to do so here. Maybe the sad irony of this radio station is that despite the hard work from George, Anne, and Rex, no one can ever listen to their plays because the dishes are not deployed, and the nearby relay towers get in the way. That would be sad. Back at Trinity Tower, it's time to rescue Rex. The place is infested with super mutants.
Can't open it from this end.
The tower is also quite destroyed. You can only climb the stairs so high. However, there is a working elevator. Taking the elevator takes you up to about the mid-range of the tower.
You only kill the weakest of all. It only makes us stronger. If they cannot kill one human, they are less than nothing.
In one of the
We've been
elevator
making
shafts,
rounds
you
doing the
find
job.
a broken elevator
It's
that
time
has a
we
hatch
learn the
bolt.
big
You can
secret.
jump on
Everyone
down
thinks
to a
that
floor that you otherwise
Desdemona
would
is the
not
big
have
boss.
access.
She
There
calls
are
the
a few
ops,
safes
gives the
and some
rah-rah
great ammo to look
speeches,
at. But that's about
but
it.
it's just
Fighting
an
through
act.
super mutants brings
She
you
does
to
what
the
I
very
tell her
top
to
where you
because the
find
railroad,
Fist,
it's my
the
show.
leader of the super
It's been that
mutants
way
here
since
at
I
Trinity
founded
Tower.
it.
Fist is the super mutant who's been shouting at you through the PA
You?
system as you
You founded the
explore
railroad?
building.
Sure,
Near Fist's
me and
body
Johnny
is a
D and
chest with a
Watts.
key. Near to
Hell,
Fist
that was...
is a
I
cage.
tell everyone I get
Inside
the
the
occasional
cage, we
face
finally
change to
find
stay anonymous.
Rex.
Truth is, we've come a long way since the beginning. We've done a lot of good. Saved a lot of synths. But we're about more than this.
You've lied to me at least once.
Yeah, you got me.
Uh-huh.
There's other organizations out there, and in time, ignore the verbiage and look at what they're doing. What they're asking you to do. What sort of world they'd have you build. And how they're gonna be.
Let us out! Promise won't try to kill.
Yo, thanks for the advice.
I don't know if it's your good old-fashioned pre-war values, or you just won the genetic...
Mm-hmm.
And...
Strong will not hurt human if human rescue Strong and Rex.
Why is
He defied his leader by standing up. See, I didn't have a purpose in mind. I came here to teach these poor, ignorant creatures culture. I started with Macbeth. I guess they found me funny. All of them except Strong.
Strong learned secret to human power from Macbeth. Milk of human kindness. Strong will find milk. Strong will drink milk. Strong will have secret power of humans.
Yes, of course. When they grew tired of taunting me, they threw me in this cage. Little did they know, I was waiting for them.
They know. You bait to catch more humans.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
Strong thought you know.
See what I have to work with? I've promised Strong to help him find the milk of human kindness.
what are the super mutants gonna do with Strong?
Throw it off the building. Taking bets on how many times about this.
Strong
Hello.
thinks that
Deacon's
milk of
record
human
is the
kindness
best.
is some sort
You
of
can learn a
magical
lot from
potion that gives humans their power. Rex is, of course, dismissive of this
One more
opinion
hour
because
until
he
my...
understands that the milk of human
You
kindness
must
is
not be
actually
afraid
a
of heights with
quote
all the work
from
on the Mila
Shakespeare's
project.
play,
I know another
Macbeth.
building that could...
In
Sing it,
that
brother.
play, Macbeth is
Or
a
we
thane
could
of Scotland and a mighty warrior. After
Anything
hearing a
new from Mila?
prediction that he will become
Him's
king
like a
of
glowing
three
one in a
witches,
crater,
his
soaking up
wife
all the
and
data.
concludes
The atmospheric
to
sensors
murder the
haven't picked up
existing
anything
King Duncan
yet.
so
But
that
give
he
it
can
time.
take over rulership of Scotland. When Macbeth shows hesitation,
Let's see what
at
you
the
got.
idea
You got
of
it.
killing King Duncan, his wife scolds him, questioning his masculinity, saying that he has too much of the quote milk of human kindness. So the phrase doesn't actually refer to any magical potion in the game. Sorry to disappoint you, Strong. It's just an expression used to refer to somebody who exhibits the basic qualities of human kindness. It's interesting that Shakespeare refers to this kindness as milk, because milk is often seen as a fortifying beverage. You drink milk to become stronger, to get stronger bones, to become healthier. Lady Macbeth referred to the milk as maybe something immature, like drinking baby's milk. She used it as a way to shame her husband. But perhaps Shakespeare was trying to tell us that kindness actually makes humanity stronger. I'm sure this realization would disappoint our good Strong, who clearly sees violence and might as the only strength. Perhaps that's why Rex was dismissive and hasn't explained the
I
analogy
don't know if
very
even a
well to our
scabber
good
would take
supermutant
that.
here. When you unlock the cage, Strong storms out
You.
and
Good
attacks the
man.
super mutants that come
God
up
damn
the
it.
stairs to
Losing
kill you.
Augusta is a
Follow
real
him
blow.
down, but before you
Not
do,
your
make sure
fault,
you
I
go in
know.
the cage
I
to
know
loot
taking
the
out
melee
Corsairs is a
bobblehead,
risk,
which
in
increases
more ways
critical
than one.
damage from melee
But we
weapons
have to
by
delay the
25%.
Institute any
There's
way we
also
can,
an
so
excerpt
your infiltration
from
can be
Macbeth
effective.
lying on the table.
Hey
This
there.
excerpt is
With
a
Corsairs-
scene later in the play after Macbeth has killed the King of Scotland and killed a bunch of other people,
In
including
play,
some of his
if you
closest
get a
friends,
mission to protect the
maintain
synth,
his rule,
come armed to the
despite
teeth.
shaming her husband for being weak
Use the back
and being the
entrance.
one
Too
to
much
encourage
traffic
him
in
to
the
kill the
church
king
and
to
burns.
begin with. The
I'm
murders
very
have
busy.
haunted Macbeth's
Unless
wife,
you need my
to the point
medical
where she
expertise.
sleepwalks at night, mutters to herself,
Systems
and tries
locked.
to wash invisible
Building
blood
statistical
out of her
model for
clothing.
Operation
This is the
Tea
scene we
Party.
see depicted in this script.
Pam.
She's trying to wash the
Solving
blood off her
for-
clothing. The murders have clearly stained her conscience. Following Strong brings you to a window washer elevator on the side of the building. As you follow it down, you get attacked by other super mutants that have stormed the building to
Hey.
seek revenge for
Are you
their
injured?
brothers. You have to switch
It's a-
elevators
Patch me
halfway
up,
through the
Doc.
building
Tell
to
me your
get to the
symptoms.
bottom. Once at the bottom,
Feeling sick.
Rex thanks you for rescuing him, and then he departs to head back to the WRVR broadcasting station.
Many thanks for that.
Hold on. Any other complaints?
No other complaints.
All right. Don't ruin...
Excuse me.
Are you injured? It's a...
Actually, I need some supplies for the road.
I suppose I could spare...
I agree.
And who better to open their eyes to the wonders of the Bard than Rex Goodman, the foremost actor in the world today. In any time, a great time like that. Now, excuse me. I think it's time I left this awful place, returning to WRVR, resuming my career in radio.
If you're a man, you get Reginald's suit. If you're a female, you get Agatha's dress. Both items are unique in that they grant you +3 charisma. It's one of the items in the game that gives you the most charisma, and it's great at low levels for passing high charisma checks. Strong becomes available as a companion. He thinks that you're going to help him find the milk of human kindness.
I'll honor my promise.
Strong trap with you. Human help Strong by milk of human kindness. Stronger secret of human.
You have the potential to be an excellent bodyguard, Strong. I just hope you understand your responsibilities.
Strong protect by crushing enemy.
If you choose not to team up with Strong yet, you can always come back to Trinity Tower, where he will wait for you. If you choose to run with Strong as a companion, make sure to go back through Trinity Tower and loot all of the super mutant armor that you find in the tower. Strong can't wear other clothing and armors from the game. He can only wear super mutant armor. Since heavy super mutant armor does appear in this tower, it's a great opportunity to get him some good gear. Once done, you can head back to the WRVR station to speak with George, Anne, and Rex.
Oh, it's quite a feat to rescue Rex from a super...
Rex was a fool. Should've died.
Rex, this isn't the first time we've had to save him. We'll try to make it safe from now on.
WRVR is our pride and joy. We need
Hook.
something new.
Hook.
An audience
Come on, stop.
the same play over and over. It's a pleasure to see you again. I can't thank you enough for saving my life.
And that's about it. Nothing really interesting happens here at WRVR. You can't unlock their radio broadcast, and Rex really doesn't have anything else to say to you. Anne, however, is interesting. She tells you that she does...
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Ferris. Indeed, you would think the fires of radiation and nuclear war have resulted in a nearly unrecognizable society emerging from the ashes. But while the Fallout universe is populated with all sorts of weird and unique personalities, there's a few NPCs we'll come across that can really give us the chills. Men, women, and mutants that are especially uncanny, even for a world like this one. So, what a better way to spend such a fine day like this than taking a deeper dive into some of these spooky individuals. Sit back, grab a Nuka Cola, and relax as we explore 5 of the creepiest characters in Fallout 4. Starting off, we have Doc Crocker. He co-owns and operates the Mega Surgery Center in Diamond City, the closest thing available to a hospital in the settlement. While his partner Dr. Sun handles most of the day-to-day affairs, examines and distributing medical supplies, Crocker does one thing, and one thing only: plastic surgeries. He's known to be a great help to Diamond City's more affluent residents, who frequent his business constantly, and he even offers his services up to the sole survivor, who can visit him and for 100 caps, get their appearance altered somewhat. Alas, despite his usefulness, Mr. Crocker has a dark skeleton in his closet, or body in his basement, if you will. Recently, a young man by the name of Earl Sterling, who previously worked at the Dugout Inn, has gone missing. Most of Diamond City's citizens suspect the Institute is to blame, though Nick Valentine isn't sold, and he'll ask the player to investigate and see if you can get to the bottom of what really happened. Your search will eventually lead you to discover that Earl had some serious insecurities related to his own physical appearance. And this is where Dr. Crocker enters the picture. You'll learn that the doctor had promised to perform facial reconstruction surgery on Earl.
Fuck am I supposed to get up there?
However, when the time finally came, Crocker was hyped up on Jet and accidentally snipped a number of Earl's arteries during the procedure, leaving him to die on the operating table. Rather than admit his mistake and accept the consequences, the doc was instead all too happy to let the Institute take the blame, while chopping up Earl's body and slowly disposing of it alongside the garbage being thrown out by the nearby butcher. It was a disgusting plan, and when you confront the surgeon for his crimes, the man will either turn hostile or even take his own life. Later on, we can use the key found on his corpse to enter Crocker's home and review his private terminal entries, where he makes some pretty suggestive comments about his patients as well. Not that that's nearly as bad as murdering a person to death and trying to chop up their body into tiny pieces, but still. And so, the most respected surgeon in the Commonwealth, as it turns out, is also far from the model citizen he presents himself as. My advice? The next time you're in the market for a little facial reconstruction surgery, maybe consider a different profession. Next on our list, meet Malcolm. We've discussed it before in a previous Fallout 4 video, but this is a man just
really?
now. After you've progressed far enough within their quest line, the settlers of Far Harbor will request the survivor throughout various locations across the island of Ruins, so they can begin to expand and settle over there. One of those locations is a place called Lake Echo, and once your duty is done there and the final rule is slain, something unique will happen. A man named Malcolm will appear seemingly out of thin air. He won't attack you on sight, however, it will be very obvious from the get-go that something isn't right about this man. He'll first thank the player for killing all the ghouls, though will tell you that this is in fact his land. He's been living here for years, long before the fog even showed up. When it eventually did, he simply decided to stay and continue inhabiting the region. Only recently, when these ghouls came, he was driven away. But now that you've dealt with them, he plans to set up shop here once again. In exchange for your help, he says he'll let you leave.
You got them shamblers all dead. Fog's quiet. The land's mine again. For what you done, you can leave. Leave before I need to go on and kill.
It's clear that all this time in the fog has driven Malcolm mad. Though, what makes Malcolm especially frightening amongst Far Harbor's crazies is the fact that he seems to be a cannibal. Throughout your dialogue with him, the man refers to you as meat, and before you go, he'll offer to make a deal with you. You see, he knows the people of Far Harbor wish to settle on this land, and he wants them to come. Not because he enjoys the prospect of having neighbors, but because he wants to go hunting. I'll let him do the explaining.
Keep me outside or someplace. Oh. Send the home. Salvage their gear. Eat. Then toss the remains. Oh, what do you say? A cat. Take it with you, Wyatt.
Malcolm's intentions are undeniably twisted. He's hoping to get his next few meals from your allies. After being hit with this proposition, you have a few options. Refuse to let him eat Far Harbor's people and attack him. Refuse to let him eat Far Harbor's people, but agree not to take his land. Or accept his deal, and he'll give you some cats in exchange for your promise to send him some settlers. Among all of the trappers and people driven insane on this island, Malcolm stands out as not just the only cannibal we know of, but also evidently a shrewd businessman as well, which is what earns him a spot in this video. Our third entry leads us to the former amusement park turned feudal kingdom that is Nuka World. A place totally populated by raiders. One doesn't need to look very far to find all sorts of creepy characters. That said, there's one bandit in particular that really gives us the chills. Dixie is a young woman and high-ranking member of the Disciples, one of Nuka World's 3 major gangs. The Disciples themselves are an especially gruesome bunch, known for their preference of blades over traditional firearms, and their fondness of killing for sport. While the other gangs typically see violence as a simple means to an end, the Disciples do it just for fun, and Dixie is perhaps the most intimidating of their membership. She at first comes across as incredibly folks to let their guard down before she either murders or enslaves them. Some holotapes that she has within her personal quarters, which she affectionately refers to as souvenirs, document some of her horrifying actions. Just take a listen to one.
Sammy just came back with his girl Dixie and brought the best news ever. She comes from a place where we'll be safe and protected called Nuka World. Finally. I'm tired of trying to live up here on our own. Dealing with raiders and finding food and just surviving. We're packing up to leave. We're out of here. I wanted to leave this message for you.
It's awfully sweet how to welcome a stranger in your home.
You've no idea how happy we are that we ran into you.
Not happy.
What are you doing? Wait, I thought you were here to... Kate! Run!
Sam, no! What have you done?
Fuck, am I supposed to get up here?
Oh, don't worry, honey. I never came to Lovebirds Park. No! No! That went well.
Fuck.
What's this? I think I'll keep you in for a little 15er.
Furthermore, Mags Black, leader of the operators, a fellow raider, she lays out her suspicion that Dixie was elevated to her high-ranking position within the Disciples, not out of merit, but because her superiors were afraid of her and needed to get her under control. When some of the cruelest and most powerful characters in the Commonwealth are going out of their way to placate you, you're probably not someone to be messed with. So, her brutal nature and lovable southern charm definitely make Dixie someone to watch out for. For Fourth Spawn, we venture beneath the streets of post-war Boston into its sewage tunnels. This character actually isn't alive anymore, but we can rediscover his legacy. I, of course, am speaking of the Fens Phantom. You can learn the blood-curdling tale of this pre-war serial killer by entering the Fen Street sewers beneath Diamond City. The Fens Phantom was a horror. Not only was he of dozens of innocents, but after doing so, he'd take his victims' remains to this very sewer and put them on display in weird positions, almost like he was building some sort of art gallery. As we explore this twisted take on a museum, a number of holotapes...
Let me take a look at you. See.
I'm just here between jobs.
We've been making the rounds, doing the job. It's time you learn. She does what...
You really founded it?
Sure. Me, we've come a long way.
Get on
but
with
we're
it
about
already.
more than that.
You've lied to me at least once.
Yeah, you got me.
Sure.
There's other organizations. Ignore... What sort of...
Yo.
I don't... And...
Diamond City Radio wouldn't be possible without the help of some wonderful businesses here in town. Stop in for a drink at the Dugout Inn. The stories are free, but the moonshine will cost you. Ask for Vadim Bobrov. If you've ever been in love, then you know how this one feels. It's the Ink Spots.
Hancock turns a blind eye to our activities. Makes Good Neighbor a great place to lay low.
Got some good deals. You won't believe.
Let's see what you got.
It's a little bit of everything.
I don't know if even a scaver would take that.
Hey.
What is it?
There we go.
Got yourself into trouble again, Mel?
What can I say? I learned from the best.
I'm
That's it.
So, what's the deal with the new guy?
All right, we're all here. Mel, you want to introduce your little friend?
Yep. Meet Sonya. This little bot is going to help us move through the earth like a mole rat on jet.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm excited to see what she can do.
I can't wait to show you. She's one of a kind. I modified her radio systems to emit sonic pulses at frequencies that can loosen any sediment.
Mel says we'll be able to get to them, and it's a hell of a lot safer than loading.
All right, guys, get ready. I'm not completely sure how this place... So, brace yourselves. Sonya, do your thing.
Here's the latest word on what's happening in the Commonwealth, folks.
This game is so fucking bugged.
Brotherhood continues to make waves.
This one came right up to my door.
Been seen cleaning up Fort Strong.
He takes orders, and he's useful in a fight. What more could I want?
And he's not so bad to look at either. Maybe we don't burn bridges this time.
Just wanted to get rid of the neighbors. I couldn't say. Whatever their reasoning, I think we all agree that fewer
Well, that fucking hurt.
Up next is Sheldon Allman. Crawl out through the fallout.
I don't have much. Oh, that'd be suicide. Stagger. Oh, okay. There were 3 more. That was not good.
But I will put on the first and final holotapes for you to listen in on. They're pretty
Hey guys, what's going on? So it looks like we're going to be getting a new Kenobi book coming out this July. I think it's July 26th or something like that. Yeah, July 26th, which I think is, the Kenobi show is going to be done by then. So this will be something we could read afterward. We can kind of figure out more of his story. It takes place before Master and Apprentice, and that book was by Claudia Gray, actually. Takes place before the Phantom Menace, so this takes place way before that. So one, there's a Q&A with the author, and I was reading through it, and I actually was pretty, I'm trying to analyze their answers, see, like what's their angle and everything. And she seems to be really respectful of like the characters and Anakin and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, and I'm really liking her answers so far. So I think this is going to be a good book, guys. I don't know. Kirsten White's upcoming Star Wars Padawan follows the legendary hero when he was still very much a student, insecure about who he is and the Jedi he might become. Obi-Wan grows antsy under his master Qui-Gon Jinn, who preaches patience and meditation, and yearns for some Jedi action. When it looks like they finally head out on a mission together, Jinn is a no-show. Obi-Wan goes off on his own instead, visiting a new world where he encounters free-spirited teens, possibly strong with the Force, who offer him a glimpse at a life that could have been or could still be. Yet, as Obi-Wan himself would later say, something is out of place. While Padawan doesn't arrive until July 26th, you can get a sneak peek at the pin cover featuring Obi-Wan and the hint of the lush planet Lenara behind him below. And to mark the image's debut, StarWars.com caught up with White for her first ever interview on Padawan, discussing how her team Obi-Wan connects with the older versions we know, whether Kenobi is more similar to his future apprentice than believed, and what might be the starring Padawan's defining characteristic. That's a cool cover. What the hell is that? You've written horror thrillers, even medieval tales. What's it been like? What has she written? Okay, so these are some of the books that she's written, I guess. Unsurprisingly, just as much research. Some people think writing in an existing franchise means less work. The world building is already done, but it comes with far more opportunities to get things wrong. I owe so much of who I am as a person and a storyteller to Star Wars, and I hope I brought that affection and respect to Padawan. I sometimes joke that my only controversial Star Wars opinion is that I love it all. What? But it's true. I feel tremendously lucky to be a small part of this galaxy of incredible storytelling. There haven't been many stories about Obi-Wan from this time period. How did you approach further developing what a very green, very teenage Obi-Wan would be like? I wanted to make sure, and yeah, that's always like a concern of mine, is when they're covering a time in canon that there isn't much, because I don't know. I don't know if they would go back and like read a bunch of legend stuff. Yeah, so they did a ton of this with the Star Wars Jedi Apprentice novels, and these cover a very young Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn. So I'm wondering, if she would have ever read those, maybe taken some inspiration or not. There haven't been many stories about Obi-Wan from this time period. How did you approach further developing with what a very green, very teenage Obi-Wan would be like? I wanted to make sure Padawan felt like it had always been part of Obi-Wan's story, but that it made sense we never heard about this particular adventure. I looked at who Obi-Wan became, then traced him backwards through the prequels and Claudia Gray's excellent Master and Apprentice, to arrive at someone who still had a tremendous amount of growing to do, but with the foundation of who he would become. My goal with the narrative was to take him on a journey of self-discovery so he would be ready for everything we know he'll face. Another key aspect of developing teen Obi-Wan was surrounding him with other young people, giving him his first taste of freedom so he could learn who he is when no authority figure is watching. When he's out of the temple, which parts of his devotion to the Jedi Order still feel right? Can he let go and run wild? Does he even want to? So what is this? Kind of feels like a Goonies Obi-Wan sort of thing. Seems like they're kind of like going in that path. Like they're doing a lot of projects in the future that have to do with like being younger. And now I've just realized I might have written a Star Wars spring break novel. From the book's description, Obi-Wan sounds a lot more like Anakin that we might have known or realized. Yes and no, Obi-Wan and Anakin have youthful rebellion in common, but while Anakin was rooted in trauma, anger, and entitlement, I say with love about one of my favorite characters, Obi-Wan's is rooted in an anxiety. Anakin was eager to have power and authority to try and heal his pain and quiet his fears. In Padawan, Obi-Wan is anxious to know his place in the galaxy and the Jedi Order. Not to be powerful, but to be the best servant of the Force he could be. His motivation is less. I'm the greatest, why can't they see that? And more, maybe I don't deserve any of this. He's terrified he won't live up to his potential, letting down Qui-Gon Jinn, the Jedi, and the galaxy as a whole. Yeah, what I have to say about that is that Anakin definitely had some of those tendencies for sure, like the entitlement, but I kind of feel like it was the Jedi Order's fault. Like they just sort of pushed it into his mind, He was called the poster boy of the Clone Wars. He was the chosen. They always referred to him as the chosen one. You can't tell me it's not going to get to your head a little bit.
Everyone
and
thinks
also,
that
if you're like literally
she does what I tell
better than pretty much even your masters that are training you when you're just such a young age, and you're getting like. Anakin, when he was
Do you really think I'm going to fall for this?
Like Mace Windu, and Mace Windu was like, he was so much stronger than his masters that were teaching him when he was a little kid.
It works best that way.
Like when
We've come a long way since the beginning, but we're about more than that.
So, I mean, that's definitely got to
You've
play
lied
with
to me
your
at
ego
least
a little
once.
bit. It's like,
This
why
is
am I
just
being
more of the same.
taught by someone who is much less than me in the Force, and also they're not granting me the rank of master, which I need in order to get access to the restricted section to save my wife. So it's like, I can understand why he would be a little bit entitled like that, but it's not like he was entitled when he left Tatooine, when he was a kid. They kind of
So what's the railroad deal?
We're not about saving the world.
Qui-Gon's
Too big a
mentality.
job for
He's terrified he won't live up to his potential, letting down Qui-Gon Jinn, the Jedi, Jedi in the
one
galaxy
synth
as
at
a
a time.
whole.
And care about the
Also,
little
before
guys.
anyone else
Maybe lend a
asks,
hand on the
Satine
side.
isn't in
Not
this
as much
novel.
as some would
Actually,
like,
she's the
but
reason
hey,
why there are no
it's
more
something.
romantic.
But
There
the
are no
real
romantic
question is,
subplots in
what
Padawan.
do you
Obi-Wan
think of
commits
this?
absolutely in everything he does,
And
including first love. I couldn't
at the end
dilute
of the
that.
day,
That's
you'll
great.
need to make a
So she doesn't.
choice.
Okay, cool. So for her sake of her story, she doesn't dilute the fact that Obi-Wan has like some other love interest or something. Qui-Gon Jinn has become a fan favorite, and he looms large in Star Wars despite minimal appearances. How central is Obi-Wan's relationship to Qui-Gon in your story? I absolutely understand the outsized impact Qui-Gon Jinn has had on Star Wars fans. He's the mentor we all wish we could have. Wise and patient. But with that sly twist of humor, Qui-Gon in many ways represents the ideal Jedi. Untouched by politics, constantly guided by the Force, spiritually thoughtful, and calm amidst any turmoil. But those same qualities would also make him really intimidating to partner with as a young teenager. How do you live up to that? I leaned hard into this tension. Though Qui-Gon isn't physically present for much of the book, he's a constant presence for Obi-Wan, who must figure out how to be what Qui-Gon wants in a Padawan, if that's even possible. Yeah, it actually does sound like a Spring Break Obi-Wan kind of thing, but maybe they get into some trouble, maybe there's like, I don't know, a quest or something, or, I don't know, I mean, I'm gonna read it anyways, but I'll definitely read it. If there's one thing you want your book to say about Obi-Wan, what would it be? Obi-Wan Kenobi cares. He cares so much. I think as much or as more than any other Jedi we know. Obi-Wan always puts himself second in service of the Jedi Order, and more importantly, the will of the Force. It was such a delight and honor trying to feel out who teen Obi-Wan was on his way to becoming the Jedi we all know and love. And the only reason I posit that is because there were so many times where the Force was reaching out to Anakin regarding his mother, and Obi-Wan was like, your thoughts betray you. Like, obviously the Force was trying to tell him something, and Obi-Wan's just like, no, let's just focus on these politics that we gotta worry about. Everything could have been so avoidable if they just, like, listened to Anakin a little bit, and then they wonder, like, why he went insane in the end. No one was listening to him. The only person who was listening to him was the devil. Anyways, this book looks pretty cool. I am definitely going to be reading it. As for, I'm still on the fence of, like, you know, like, what's this really going to be about? Is he just going off on, like, Spring Break? He's going off on another world? Like, why is he on another world? What is he doing? Why is he outside of the Jedi Temple? Why is Qui-Gon not there? So I guess we'll find out all of that July 26th when I'll do a read of it, and then I'll give you guys my full review, and there's like a canon stuff that I'll take from it too. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this vid, my thoughts on it. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and there's only a few more months until Kenobi, and I'm really excited for it. So I'll see you guys then. Have an awesome rest of your evening, and yeah, may the Force
bridges this time. Yeah.
All right, we're all here. Mel, you want to introduce your little friend?
Yep. Meet Sonya. This little
The
bot
Kitty
is gonna help
Kingdom
us
is
move
one
through
of
the
the
earth
many
like a
parts in
mole rat on
Nuka
jet.
World that the Nuka World Raiders have asked us to clear so that they can move on in.
Robot with no
Even if
limbs.
we
What'd
have
you
no
expect?
plans to
She's
side
one of a
with the
kind.
Raiders and give them the
I
park,
modif-
the place
Mel
is still
says we'll be able to
dangerous
get-
and
and
poses
it's
a
a
threat to
All right, guys,
settlers.
get ready.
So it's a
So,
good idea to
Sonya?
head on in. If we follow the road from Nuka Town north, we eventually arrive at a large walled-off park. Approaching from the south, we've discovered the Kitty Kingdom. Crouching down and pulling out our rifle, we can sneak on in, but our attempt at stealth is foiled.
Give me a shot if you come to a dead end. I'll have Sonya give it back.
But we may have to do something.
It's time for another show. So I don't even street.
Get me out of there. Yeah, eat him out. Eat everyone else first.
What do you think, Fred? The tunnel? The fun house?
Oh, great. Well, we just met the boss. He doesn't sound like he's in a good mood. With that, we
Back
begin
before
a
I met
magical
you, I'd go
kingdom.
whole
We have to
days
discover
without
and search
massacring
3 sections. The fun house, the tunnels, and the theater.
What's not fun to
But
master?
let's start with our immediate surroundings. Heading to the northeast, we see big boarded-off restrooms. Next to these bathrooms is an employees-only area, but this gate does not appear to work. However, we do see a path back there. We need to figure out a way to get back there. Turning north, we see a huge hole in the side of a house.
Are you feeling lost? Pathetic.
Calm down, strange voice from the sky. I just got here. I'm not lost yet. Inside the house, we see that this was some sort of shop. We find cash registers. There are a few skeletons on the western side, and it must have been a souvenir shop. We find toys on a shelf. The second floor is caved in, forming a rubble ramp. Up here we find an ammo canister on a shelf and a consumer animatronic with a unique Nuka World costume. Nuka World comes with a bunch of these handsome outfits, great for clothing our settlers. But this house is a dead end, so heading down, the only path forward is to turn west. We see a large Ferris wheel off in the distance, and a green mist floating all around us.
Oh my god, shoot him. Oh.
Getting up to 18 rads per second at one point. Oh gosh, I can already see this is gonna be a blast. I'm on my assassin, I'm not wearing power armor, so radiation is a real danger for this character. I'm gonna go ahead and put on a gas mask and pop a Rad-X. Let's pay close attention to what I start with here. I'm starting with 30 Rad-X and 34 Rad-Away. Let's see how many I have left by the time we're done.
Where are you even going? At this rate, you'll starve to death in there.
Well, I don't know where I'm going. That's the point of exploring. I'm trying to figure it out, man. Is this guy gonna criticize my every move? We see that one of these rides is still working, a revolving teacup ride, and we find ghouls enjoying it. As we back up a bit to get a better shot, we discover the Ferris wheel. We'll head up there in just a moment.
Over here, Mel.
Got it.
We need Sonya here. Sonya,
After killing the ghouls, we can hop on the spinning teacup ride to loot the bodies.
Oh.
On the other end, we see some shops and carnival games. And we see a couple ways forward. We can go east towards some lollipop town, or we can go west towards the Ferris wheel. We'll start by going west. Here, we find a park medallion dispenser. We need to discover all of these in order to complete the rest west. Looks like we found one. Let's keep our eyes open for number 2. The Ferris wheel is not moving. We find some lockers next to the Ferris wheel where we can loot some Rad-X, a first aid kit, and a duffel bag in the closed locker. There's a skeleton hanging in one of the Ferris wheel cars. We see a button here, but when we punch it, we get a notice that Nuka World's main power is out. Looks like these might work, but we gotta go to the Nuka World power plant first. Oh, and the radiation just got to me. I'm so used to not even paying attention to radiation power armor that I would have died if not for nerd rage.
I
have to pay close attention. After checking a refreshing beverage, we can turn around and head towards those shops. We see one was a coffee and donut shop. Ah, a turret. This guy really doesn't want us inside.
This should definitely keep me alive.
After killing one building his corpse, we see that lollipop down to the east, but we've also discovered a path towards this turret that we destroyed next to a gingerbread house. Here we find a series of Nuka Cola mixers, and heading west, we find the Rally Roller Ride.
Glad you're
Cars
stuck.
on a spinning wheel. Like the Ferris wheel, this one has an activation button that doesn't work until we restore power, which we can hide behind for cover.
Why would you run in front of me?
Thank God for the blitz. I need to be more careful when I see that I've got Rad-X going, because by the time those ghouls attack, I was at half life thanks to the radiation. Well, we blitzed ourselves into some sort of courtyard next to the Rally Rollers. We see the falling awning of a ruined coffee shop to the right, some boarded up bathrooms. To the north in front of us, And another exit. Going around the walls, sure enough, we've found another way in and out of the park. So there's a southern entrance and exit, and a western one. This is a great point of reference for orienting ourselves later. But unless
Mel,
we want to leave the
get
park,
Sonia
we have
over here.
reached a dead end, which means the only path forward is to turn around and head east towards the Lollipop Town. But before we head that way, we can step inside this crumbling gingerbread house.
Maker, pastry maker.
No.
Shoot
Just keep
and
heading
slash
southwest.
and bite
We need to find a place to get our started.
Gosh, this guy needs to lay off the Brothers Grimm. Despite his taunting, however, we don't see anyone up here. Climbing up the stairs to the ruined second floor. No, nothing. We can head back downstairs to loot. Oh, then we see him. Clumsy. Don't worry, I'll get better. On this bottom level, we can loot an ammo box on a couch and a personal sublocker against the southern wall. Heading back upstairs, we see a path to the west and some bridges connecting the rooftops of some of these structures, maybe some scrap. Creeping along, we see that this leads us out to the open area next to the Rally Rollers and the western exit. The scaffolding leads us on top of that coffee and donut shack, and then on top of the Nuka mixing stations. But there's nothing up here. I guess this is just supposed to be usable for snipers trying to avoid the ghouls. Retracing our steps back into the gingerbread house, we find another exit from this second floor, a scrap ramp out a hole to the north. This leads us to the platform upon which sat the machine gun turret, also overlooking the courtyard next to the western exit. However, this connects through a hole in the wall to another building. This must have been a magazine and souvenir shop. We see lots of magazine stands tipped over, and peering out the window, but the jig is up. We get attacked by another legendary. And another legendary. Holy cow, how many legendary Pharaoh ghouls was that? Well, the upside is we get decent loot. Got a rapid shotgun, Deadeye combat shotgun, and a wounding missile launcher. After the ghouls are dead, we can exit the house to a large courtyard to the north. In the middle of this open space is a big fountain that no longer works, but we have to be careful because we're surrounded by multiple strangers. Holy and in the middle of this courtyard, we find a handy map. I ignored the past ones I saw earlier, but now that things are starting to get a little bit more complicated, I'm going to pay more attention to this. This is really helpful. We see the southern entrance where we entered at the very bottom, the western entrance next to the rolling racers, which we just left. And it looks like from here we can go two ways. We can go north to finish exploring this lollipop area, and we can go west across some train tracks to start scaling the steps towards the castle proper. Sure enough, to the north, we find a bridge leading deeper to that lollipop area. Turning east, we find a door into a delicatessen. And southeast of this is the path that presumably leads towards the castle entrance. Where to begin? For now, we'll head north across the bridge. I'm thinking this lollipop land may be a dead end, and since I want to explore everything, we'll start here. There's a ruin shop in front of us. We can go west or east. Before making up our minds, we see some ghouls. We'll start by going west. Here we pass more of those deadly sprayers, and a ghoul creeps out. Creeping to a corner, we can snipe off any others that come our way. Heading north and up some short stairs, we see another feral ghoul on the other side of this fence. But Blitz comes in handy. We arrive at the Nuka Racers, and just outside is the second Park Medallion dispenser. So these weren't train tracks, they were roller coaster tracks. Nearby we see a sign. Attention, clothes required to ride. Think of others. Was that really a problem? Find four criminals wandering the tracks, and they're already wounded. Looks like these roller cars can do some serious damage. Well, we've come upon the wall. We could go east up the track, but I want to make sure we didn't miss any buildings, so turning around, we can head back towards the entrance to this section and head east. More ghouls creep from the rubble. The Nuka rocket ride. This is right next to a big tipped-over bottle, serving as a tunnel for the Nuka Racers. And we find more ghouls. Man, they really love these tracks. After sending down some more Rad-X and Radaway, we can move east. After killing a ghoul we spotted through our scope, we discover the Funhouse. Right next to this is a ramp going off to the southeast, and here we find some ghouls. Just leads to some tracks and back towards that gingerbread house. So instead, we'll turn around and head into the fun house. We arrive in a dimly lit room covered in garbage.
Welcome, boys and girls, to the fun house.
Brewery near us.
And aren't we having fun?
How does this guy know we're here? Are there cameras everywhere or something? We see two doors in this entry area, but the first one is chained. We don't find anything on the ticket desk here except for a bell, which means the way forward is through the double doors. Warning, Funhouse may cause motion sickness. Do not vomit in walkways. Well, let's just hope the Funhouse isn't functional so that we don't get sick. Opening the door, we find a bunch of mirrors.
Don't worry, the mirrors are too dirty to reflect anything. In your case, I'd say that's probably a benefit.
Major burn from disembodied voice. Well, we see a big broken pane of glass leading towards a symbol-clacking monkey. First, let's turn around and see what's down this path. Heading west, we disable a mine on the ground. This brings us to another fork, north towards a ball, or west towards a flamingo. Going west towards the flamingo, we find a mannequin in a pink dress. The only way beyond this is to the east, where we find a laser tripwire next to an oil slick. And we find the ghoul.
By all means, keep trying. You're doing great.
Heading south and round the corner, we see that the mannequin is holding a combat knife, wearing a chef hat. Turning around and going south, we can loot some pretty poor money from a duffel bag, but this is a dead end. However, when we head back towards that gate, we see a path labeled exit. Okay, that must be the way we're supposed to go. But I want to make sure I didn't miss anything down those hills. So retracing our steps, we can go north down the path with the red ball, which leads to the broken pane of glass that we saw next to the symbol clacking monkey. Okay, so this would have been a dead end anyway. Retracing our steps, we can go back towards the exit. If we turn left, we find an ammo box, but to continue, we turn right. Oh, Rad Roach. Heading east down the path, we twist and turn until we find a frag mine to disarm and the corpse of a raider. Perhaps it was the raider who laid all of these landmines. We find one more, hiding in a nook nearby, and at last we find the path out by winding our way to the east. Here we find one more frag mine and a big set of double doors to the exit. Oh, what? Goodness, I didn't even see that. Looks like the door was being trapped with explosive on the ceiling. I'm thinking a makeshift bomb. We find ourselves in a portrait-lined hallway. Looking down, we see a door on the other end, and in front of this door is a conveyor belt. Looking east on the conveyor belt, we see a man in a top hat bending down. It's not a mannequin. He is alive. Is that the owner of our disembodied voice? He stands behind bulletproof glass. We can't shoot him. Ah! Right through another trap. At least we survived. Okay, what's this next horror? We see two spinning Nuka-Cola bottles, each with a ramp attached. Oh, great. Leaping onto the red one. We can use this to leap upon a Nuka-Cola and Cappy display stand, but there's nothing here, so leaping back onto the platform, we can spin around Watts. No. Too far. Spin around again. Yes! Now! Ow. Thankfully, there are some steps right to the south. We can try again. But our failure alerted some nearby ghouls. Running off until they can't see me. We got him. Looks like this voice turned off the conveyor belt, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Rounding the corner to find the next one. Bingo. Okay, let's try this again. Leaping upon platform number 1. No, too far. And go for it. Yes.
Sweet.
Now we're on platform number 2. And go for it. Ah, bingo. But you know, there is that hole in the wall. But I did just make it over here. I'm gonna hate myself if I don't know what's on the other side of it. Jumping down into the water and creeping through the hole in the wall, we find ourselves in another flooded room with some sort of green, glowing, spinning tunnel in the middle of this room. We see big rectangular holes in the bottom of this tunnel. No idea what this is, though. Perhaps it's some trial that is before us. There's some stairs leading out of the water to another locked security door. We can't open it from this side. Oh, well, now we know what's back here, but we gotta go through this jumping thing again. There we go. On the other side, we find a terminal called Hypno Hall's Controls and a door to the east. This door leads down some steps to another terminal.
Oh, that was a waste.
Not locked. We can unlock the nearby security door. The door opens and we find ourselves, oh, this was the door next to that conveyor belt. Okay, so we've unlocked a shortcut. Looks like our disembodied voice is still there. Let's see if we can find him. Heading back to the platform, we can hack into this Hypno Hall's controls,
Mel,
which is
get
locked
Sonya
with
over here.
Lock, Funhouse Halls of Hallucination. After doing so, we find only one option. Set reduced nausea mode on. Okay, let's try that. After exiting the nearby door, okay, we see big green spinning discs. I'm curious if this is nausea mode on. Let's see what it looks like when we turn nausea mode off. Ooh, much faster. Throwing caution and possibly vomit to the wind, we can leave nausea mode off and venture forward. Well, heading into the tunnel to the east. Whoa.
Listen to the sound of my voice.
Hey.
You're going to
If Bobby's directions are correct, and I have my back.
After after our
strong
friend
room
ends
should
his
be
mad
right
cackling,
through
we
there.
find a tunnel
If you
that
had
has a
anything else you wanted
stash
to check
of
out in this
caps
tunnel,
next to a
I suggest
Nuka-Cola
you
Quantum, and we find the body of a raider.
Doubts?
Next to
It
his
just doesn't
corpse is a
seem
copy
like
of
we're
Scav
under Diamond
Magazine,
City, does
issue
it?
number
I
3.
don't think Bobby's
Mutant
telling.
Fists of Steffi Knuckles. Plus 10%
Wait, I need to do
hand-to-hand
something
weapon
first.
damage.
No worries. Let me know
Sweet,
when
I'll
you're ready.
take it. But we're at a dead end,
Bobby.
so heading back down the tube, we can take the next one to the west. Well, after fighting through this
Of all the ways to make
nausea-inducing
cat,
spinning,
it may
we
be
come to
more
a small
complex.
hallway with
Let's
another
just say
tube to the
I
west. We find
things
ourselves
you
in a
can keep
room with
Bobby
more
knowing.
spinning discs on the walls,
Forget all
but also
Yeah.
on the ceilings
Bobby.
and floor.
Getting
And if we
closer.
stand on them, they move us around. And so to
You don't seem to have a
continue,
very-
we head to the south.
I'm
But
a
oh no, what's
guru
this?
with big ideas.
Big chunks of metal are cut into the spinning wheel. And on the other
You're not
side...
doing anything.
I'm here.
Whatever. Bobby,
Get it.
you can count on me.
Oh,
I'm
man,
counting
I had
on
no
you.
chance to
I'm
get a
not
stealth
getting it.
critical. They both spawned as soon
Mel,
as I exited
ready to
the
get
tube.
into the strong
Well,
room?
trying
If you
again.
had anything
This
else you
time
wanted to
trying
check out in
stealth
this tunnel,
we
I
can
suggest
see
you
through
do
those
that
spinning
first.
holes and realize that this is that big
to
green
you.
I
tube
say we
and that
keep moving.
flooded room we
Ready,
passed.
Sonya?
Yeah. That's a tricky one for stealth characters. Thank goodness for Nerd Ridge. Well, we survived, and where are we now? In some sort of star room? We see a door to the south. This leads us to... Oh no! This is right out of Escher. Yeah, after those spinning vortexes of vomit, something like this is the last thing I want to see.
Feeling dizzy yet? Can't tell which way is up.
Well, there's a door on the floor, but this just leads to the floor. We see a room over there, and then what's this? A window in the floor? Oh, that's a cool touch. Look at that. Leads to a little grassy box. There are stairs above us, but these don't go anywhere. Heading east, we see a corpse of a raider draped over a table.
Bobby.
Next to him
Great.
is
Now
another
my
door.
socks are wet.
Drink
Well,
Nuka-Cola
guys,
today.
we're right under the Diamond City
Turning
Strong.
around and looking up, we
You
see
sure
a
this is the
door on
right
the
place?
ceiling, but no
I've been
way to
mapping it
reach
out,
it.
and I think
struggled with
Diamond
this for
City
quite
should
some
be
time,
a little
but I
further
finally
north of
opened
here.
it by
I'm
jumping
not
onto this
doubting
red
my
chair
mind.
and taking
How about a
some
little
jabs.
trust for the boss?
Mel's right. This can't be Diamond City.
It won't be hard to prove
We
me
tripped.
wrong.
An
Let's go
explosive
up
trap,
there.
and
Y'all
out
will
from
be
the door
thanking
fell. What
we
is
still
all
need
of
a way
this?
to get up.
Gaps?
No? You think
Oh no.
Look at this place.
And we have
The
to loot
foundation,
each
one blast
of
from
them
Sonya, and I bet that
individually.
we'll
Ah,
make it?
this is just torment.
Be in
It
the
doesn't work
room
like a
for the
bottle cap mine.
scratchy
No, we have to
foundation
loot
and
each
all.
of these individually. Looks like 50 or so bottle caps.
Everybody clear.
Into Nuka-Cola Quantum. Heading up the
Prepare yourself
steps,
for a
we
blast like
arrive in
maximum
a
power.
twisted bathroom. There's a bathroom mirror on the ceiling, but like the door in the last room, we can't reach this. And I ultimately was unable to find a way to do so without a jetpack. But if we have a jetpack and manage to sail on up, inside we find a fusion core and an X-Cell, the rarest chem in the entire game. Nice little find there. And we see an opening to the east.
Here we
to a
go.
red door.
That didn't
What's
sound
this?
good.
Oh.
Sounds okay.
Now let's
On the
get
other
up.
side of the red door is a big rotating platform filled with feral ghouls, some of which are legendary.
No,
but
no,
this
no,
doggone red
Sonya!
door is programmed to close a few seconds after opening. But wait, I've got an idea.
But to make another robot with a hull we get from the Strong, keep your head in the game.
Ooh, got my leg there. Now that I'm out of mines, let's try grenades. Brilliant. Not so brilliant. Okay, I think I need to be a bit more careful now. Let's try this again.
Round and round and round and round.
There we go. We see on our Pip-Boy compass that there's one more enemy in here, but it looks like we've killed everyone. Not sure where this enemy goes. Heading inside, we can loot all of the feral ghouls. We find a legendary troubleshooting Knuckles on this guy, but when we're done, which door was it? Oh no, I don't know where I came in at. Well, only one thing to do, and that's to open each of these doors one by one.
So
let's start with this red
this
one.
doesn't change
Ooh,
anything.
looks like
It
some
is
sort of
still the
flamethrower
same job.
trap. It's a lot of effort to keep myself facing this thing so I know which door I just opened. After the flames die down, we can open it again and squeeze in there. There we go.
Damn it, Bobby.
What's
Listen,
that? A rad roach?
I know this
Did a
is
rad roach just
but
try to
there's
attack
still
me?
a
I don't see a rad roach though. This was supposed to be a reenactment of a famous scene in the movie Psycho with a skeleton in a shower screaming and a mannequin holding a knife. But all of the explosives I threw in the room knocked the skeleton to the ground.
But I want money.
So heading out and opening the first door to the left, we leap in to see
What
that
is this
we're in
about, Bobby?
some sort of hallway that gets
I knew
smaller
no
and
one in
smaller.
their right
There's a
mind
mannequin
would
down there, but we're too big for that
Everyone
door.
is so
it
damn
looks like a
afraid
dead
of
end.
him.
Opening the
Is so
next one to
damn
the
in
left.
love with him. He thinks he is invincible. I wanted to show him he
Someone exploded. A raider in here. Oh, and on the ground next to him is a traitor. And then we see
This
a
better be worth the
I
caps.
managed
You won't
not to
regret
reach
There
my
better
first.
be enough
Heading
caps
out,
in this.
going left and opening the next door. We can leap in to see that we're in some sort of tiny dining room. There's some toys and derby hats on the ground. Oh, what the heck? Is there a rad roach out there? I don't see one for now. There's a pile of skeletons in the southern corner. Next to a giddy-up buttercup, a pile of burned books, and a bunch of other toys. These surround an advanced locker door safe. And inside we find a cache of ammunition and caps. This was supposed to be a bunch of toys in derby hats, smoking cigars and counting money. The burned books were propping up a teddy bear in one of the chairs. The skeletons were piled in each of the four corners of this room, giving me the impression that the toys had murdered the men in here, donned their hats, and then sat down at their table to count their spoils. Heading out and quickly opening the first door to the left, we can leap in. Oh, this is where I came from. Okay. Heading out and opening the next door to the left. Ow, it's a concrete wall. So, next door to the left. Okay, something is definitely attacking us now. Oh, and it's one of those rad sprayers. Ah! But we see something on the wall. Making sure we've got our cappy glasses on, we find one of the hidden cappies, which we need to complete Sierra Petrovita's quest. Here we also find a huge roll of Nuka-Cade tickets. But I'm getting doused in radiation here, so heading out quickly and opening the next door to the left. Ooh, we see a nice family scene. A couple of mannequins with a mannequin in the crib reaching for a bottle in the daddy mannequin's hand. Heading out, moving left to the next one.
Well, you're a bit hardier than those others, it seems. But not much smarter, I'm afraid.
We found it! And we found that doggone rad roach. He was out there, we just missed him. Got him. Well, we could leave now, but I want to finish exploring this room, but we need to make sure we don't get lost. So we're going to have to count doors so that we know how many to pass to get back to this one. Heading left to door number 1.
There's
leads to a
course
little
not
room.
getting this
This room
gun,
was
but
supposed to
wait.
depict 2 teddy bears on a date. They had just finished a meal of fish. They were sitting on the couch watching TV when the gentle bear hands a
Bobby.
bouquet to his
That's what I'm
gentle lady. But my explosives messed this all up. Heading out one room over makes 2.
I'm just glad we made it
Ow,
through.
this leads us to a room on the other side of one of those spinning
how much?
cylinders. Okay. Heading out again into
At
the
least,
left.
at least not 600. I'm killing you.
And we're in a bathroom with a bathroom scale trap on the ground. But I didn't see what this trap was connected to. We can
Here's
leave a
your
first aid box on the wall
done
and
good.
a
200?
above the sink. All
250?
my explosives messed up here was the skeleton
Bitch.
who was originally slumped over on the toilet.
I
next
just
to a
pissed
fire.
off Hancock for
Heading out, the next one to the
250
left is number
caps.
4. Oh, and this is the one with the flamethrower.
Don't worry,
cranes. Okay,
Deacon, I
we've done
hate
a
it too.
complete loop. That means we need to head back to...
We made that look easy.
No, that's the TV room.
Bitch, you kept 400.
There we go.
Tradition of looting.
We
Mel, I have nothing against
Heading
you.
down
You're
the
fine.
hallway and through the green door, we see a waving Nuka and
fuck
Cabby
Bobby, though.
animatronic. This leads to a waiting room where we find a doorway to the left and a chain door to the east.
Wonder if I'm still
This
allowed any
eastern
good
door leads
neighbors.
us back out to the entrance. Okay, so we've done a big loop. But what we never found was that room that had the guy in the top hat. So heading north into the employees only
This is gonna
area,
bring
we
me right
go
out
up the
to
steps
good neighbor.
and round the
It
corner
might not be good.
and pass through a door to the west. Oh no. Oh, we missed him. Racing west.
Sorry, already gone, little raider. Don't worry, I've still got plenty of surprises in store for you.
Doggone it all. But wait, he called us a raider. Oh, he thinks we're a Nuka World raider, which makes a lot of sense. He has no reason to think otherwise, but that may explain why he's being so nasty towards us. On a console to the north, we find a Nuka Elixir recipe. This allows us to mix a new flavor of Nuka Cola at any Nuka Cola mixing station. If you're interested in all of the flavors of Nuka Cola, check out my video where I covered every single one, which you can watch here. And next to this is a terminal, the Funhouse control system. User H. Benson signed in. The first option, System Access, has 4 options. We can control the Hall of Mirrors, but it says communication could not be established. We can then try the Bottle Jumps, but again, communication cannot be established. Then we can try Hypno Halls, but the only option we have is to turn on Reduced Nausea mode. And finally, the Spinning Room, where we can turn the spinning floors off. Not much good that'll do us now. Backing out, we can then explore User Logs. The first one is called Living in the Funhouse. After the crew divided up the park for living accommodations, Bradley is over the moon. We get to live in the funhouse. It's a ton of room, but every memory I have of this place involves someone getting nauseous from the spinning. I'm glad he's happy about it, at least. It's been far too long since I saw a smile like that on his face. I don't think he's realized it yet with everything that's been going on, but he would have graduated high school last month. I know it's selfish, but part of me is glad the attack happened when it did, so I can have my son here. Safe with me. Oh, so this must have been a pre-war park employee working here at Nuka World with his son the day the bombs dropped 200 years ago. In the next one, out in the storm,
Hey.
woke up to find that Bradley
Hey.
had gone out in a radiation storm. He said he couldn't take living like this, and if the radiation was going to kill us, he'd rather die quickly. I don't know if he'll ever realize how much it hurt me to hear him say that. Luckily, the storm doesn't seem to have hurt him at all. In fact, that ankle he sprained messing around in the spinning room last week seems to have instantly healed. Maybe whatever mutation the initial storms gave us has somehow made us immune to radiation. Thank goodness for that. So the park employees were exposed to a rad storm, and it sounds like this started to turn them into ghouls. People are only healed by radiation if they have become ghouls. Uh-oh. I'm afraid of what we're about to read next. In the next one, snapped during the attack. Something snapped in me during the last attack on Kitty Kingdom. Maybe it was pent-up rage from Bradley leaving, but during the attack I lost it and bit into the neck of one of the attackers. At least, that's what they tell me. I don't remember. It's all hazy after the attack started. God, and I'm so hungry suddenly. I've probably eaten 20 potatoes today, but I can't seem to shake it. Why am I so hungry? I want... And then gibberish. Okay, someone's turning feral here. In the final one, this new group is different. I haven't been in here in years, not since Herman changed. Oh no. This terminal is still signed in under his name. I can't even remember how long it's been since he was able to have a conversation. Maybe Rachel is right about needing to leave to find a cure for the affliction. Anyway, that new group of psychos that moved into Nuka Town, USA is clearly different than the last one. Stronger and way more aggressive. They pushed us all the way back to the funhouse, which I haven't had to go into for years. I better start getting this place ready as a fallback again. It doesn't seem like those gangs are going to be dissuaded easily. I just hope that our defenses can hold them off long enough to find a cure. This sounds like it was written by the disembodied voice, the guy in a top hat whom we saw through the glass. Sounds like Herman went feral. years ago. And then the owner of the disembodied voice came back here hundreds of years later, wrote this note, and started to fortify his defenses. And we get the impression at the very end that he's looking for a cure to being a ghoul. Well, at least this Rachel is, anyhow, though we don't yet know who she is. A cure for ghoulism? Is that even possible? Well, there certainly would be demand if a cure was found. The story of Aqua Cura told us that. But from everything I've read and seen, I was always under the impression that when you turn ghoul, you're ghoul forever. It's not a virus or a bacteria that can be killed and cured. It's a degenerative disease that rots the mind. But maybe these ghouls know something we don't. Exploring this little shack, we find a bed. There's some blocks stacked nearby, but they don't seem to say anything. There is another bed back here. One was likely Herman's, and the other was likely his son's. Sad to learn that his son abandoned him like that. After sleeping to restore our health and waiting until morning, we can turn north to find another terminal. This one isn't locked, but we can use it to unlock the nearby security door, which leads to that platform overlooking that flooded room with the spinning cylinder. Alright, so we've got everything unlocked now. But the fastest way out is to retrace our steps, go out the employee's door, to the end of the maze, through the lobby, and out the main door. With that, we fully explored the western part of Kitty Kingdom. We could try and run through that bottle tunnel up the tracks, but instead, we'll retrace our steps where we can kill another ghoul, then head back across that bridge towards the map where we stopped earlier. We now have one path forward, and according to this map, it leads to the entrance to the castle. But we'll have to tackle that section of the park in tomorrow's video. What are your thoughts on the Kitty Kingdom so far? Was the funhouse as infuriating and nausea-inducing as it was for me? What do you think of poor Herman?
Hi YouTube, how are you doing? And welcome back to Phasmophobia. As you can see, we are perfectly set up to earn ourselves the level 7,700. How high can I get before they reset the level in the progression update? I would love to get the 10,000, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. But we're gonna be trying for it, and this is gonna be one of the level challenges that we always do. We're gonna be doing a photo randomizer. We're gonna do it on Englewood. Photo randomizer is where you start with absolutely no items, and every time you take a correct photo, you get another random item. So it leads to some very crazy, weird games. We're gonna do it on Nightmare mode. It's gonna be a big challenge. I hope you join me. If you guys subscribe, please do so. Like the video, like if you dislike, dislike. But let's not waste any more time. And let's hop into the game. Do it. Alrighty. Well, besides taking photos, so you start with a photo or a flashlight and all the photo cams. You can take photos that show up in the book. They give you an item, or you can finish an objective. Which all these objectives actually require other items. So if we don't get those items, we're not going to be able to get the any objectives done, which is going to be a bit of a challenge. We are on Nightmare mode, which means none of this. It's hard. It's a hard challenge. Especially if you get unlucky. So let's hope we don't get unlucky. Our first item will be the first photo we get. What's it gonna be? Tarot cards will be insane. It's not tarot cards. Something like a ghost or like a summoning circle will be crazy, but it's not. Oh my god, it's gonna be the voodoo doll. Uh-oh. Or the music box? Voodoo doll would be so troll. Actually, might be insane. Might be the one challenge where getting a voodoo doll is not the worst thing in the world. Because we can, I mean, we're gonna be losing sanity, yes, but we can use the voodoo doll to get interaction.
You gotta be careful, man.
Actually,
the Institute is everywhere.
Now, first though, let's get the bone.
Hi. With that latest one, Leela's got good coverage of the Commonwealth. Got a lead on another group.
Then we'll get 2 items.
If you need something for the road, let's see what you got. You got it.
No, up there. Can you give us a sign? What's your name? Paul Anderson. Mr. Anderson. There's a bone. Okay. Boom. Let's get outside and roll our soul. Let's swap the soul in here. We're gonna go get 2 items. Now these are random items. We're gonna be asking the bot what our items are. What are our random items going to be? We're gonna get A thermometer. Well, if we can't find the ghost room, that's gonna help us with that. At least at the start, this is kind of useful. And a crucifix, which is not an
I don't even have to upgrade the
Would allow
mass
us to,
except for reload speed. That's great.
which can be somewhat okay. Get in there with this and this. Okay. At the start, at least. Not the worst. Not like 2 sound sensors, which would be awful. There's a few photos, or there's one photo that we can take that will give us 2 items. If we can get the ghost photo somehow, we'll be allowed to get 2 items. Such a rare photo. Wait, this room is 22 degrees? That room was 11 degrees. Suspicious? Or is that just me? Gavin, thank you for the cheers. 3. He must be thinking with 100 bits. And Insanity, thank you for the $10 donation. Thank you. It's cold. Not too cold, but trying to. Alright, can you give us a sign? Aha! Okay, so it was one of these doors. Now, I don't know which one exactly, so I'm just gonna take the photo like this. Unless it was the door... Oh, no. We got him. Now, we know no thingies, but we are on Nightmare, once again. So it might still be a Fingerprints ghost, but we did get... Oh, it's hallway. Alright, let's get another one. They have improved photos so much, we're going to be able to get lots of photos here. So we got 2 more photos now. It's blinking lights over there and over here. Interesting. Let's... Whoa, Gavinator! Thank you for the 10,000 bits. Holy shit. Thank you. Let's see. Salt? Amazing. That's an item that gives you 2 extra items.
I want to get the silver shroud.
You can get salt, and then you can get footstep photos, which gives you 2 items. That's insane. Motion sensor's not the best. Another photo. Dude, we're killing it. We're killing it. Let's get another item. What's it gonna be? I mean, Paramic? The changed Paramic? Actually not too... They have made a lot of items... Like, I mean, the Paramic is a lot better now. And the fact that we won't get freezing makes the thermometer actually kind of nice, because we can now use that to track the ghost. We have salt as well as this. Now we don't have any UV light, so I might wait a little bit on doing this. Just maybe see if we can get a UV. We can do it without. If I get a ghost event, I'll probably just place the salt under the ghost feet. Let's place this here. Okay. Could you give us a sign? Now we have a ghost in this area. Let's see if we can get...
Wait, no.
Alright, how many photos have we taken? Oh, we can still take 1 more interaction photo. There's a limit to how many photos you can take of one type. Interaction photo is the one type you can take 4 of, and we don't allow any more, because otherwise you just take 10 interaction photos and have all the items. We want to keep it spicy. We want to get different items, or different photos. Another motion sensor, this is not... I mean, we would like it, like 1 evidence item. That would be kind of nice, but I mean... You can't always decide what you get. Thank you for the Yeah, let's hover the Paramic for a little while. I'm gonna place this over here.
I just have to remember that this thing now.
Let's hold the Paramic. Ghost photo will be awesome. Wait, we've already taken 6 photos. Wow, we're going fast. That's me. Thank you for the Prime. Vice Festival. Thank you for the 200 videos. And KJ with the 10. Bits, man, KJ. Thank you so much for like 20,000 bits today. You were absolutely bananas. Thank you so much. Okay. It yelled at us. Now we've done some testing before. A mimic will talk to you about, on average, every 30 seconds. When you're holding the Paramic, pointing it at the ghost, every around 30 seconds you will get something to... That was kind of 30 seconds. Maybe could be Mylan. Actually based Paramic. Let's see. Do we get another one in like 10, 15 seconds here? Give it to me. It's right over here. It's still there. It's not talking. It's been a good 30 seconds.
Okay, you can't open that.
A mimic can do a banshee scream, but it's incredibly rare. But it can do it, yes, for sure. Alright, it might have been just a fluke that it talked, or it might be a fluke now that it doesn't talk. I love the sounds. One of the sounds is actually CJ's girlfriend reading the B-movie script backwards. The more you know. Thank you guys for the support. PP, thank you for the 7 months. Alright, nothing is happening. So maybe not a miling, or it might have moved, but for that we have this. Now, you turn off the lights. Ghost event, never mind. That was a high ghost event, not an Oni. It just did a non-Oni ghost event. We did get hit by it, which means we lost some sanity. That's okay though. So it's not an Oni, and probably also not a Shade, because the Shade cannot do ghost events. Okay. Looking like a mare, maybe? That was a mare thing. It's so active. It's crazy. Can you give us a sign? I would love to see you. Light's broken here. Now, in terms of, is something a bug in the game right now that if you turn on the light here, it still considers the room as being light? Or like hunts? Like the mare will still only hunt. It will still consider the light on, even though it's not actually there, like the light's broken. That's something you can do. But for spare box, you also need to turn off the broken light, so be careful. Is it in the living room? It's gonna be hot. Wait a minute, is it broken or is it actually there? Wait, it's hotter here than it's in the living room. And the thermo is actually helping so much. Is it though? Can you give us a sign? It's still around here, but it's like touching these corner stuffs, which is like close to the living room. So maybe it's here. Can you give us a sign? It's roaming like it's walking a lot. Ooh. Woo! Okay, that's good though. That's very good, but also that made me jump. Well, that is very good. That is the ghost photo. We also gained information. Not a phantom, and it showed itself properly, and it did it on a ghost event, so probably not a Shade. You already know it's not an Oni. Let's see. What do we get? We get 2 items. This better be something good, because we need something. That's the 3rd motion sensor. Shots! Fuck yes! Our first evidence item. Jesus! Why do we get... I mean, we got the maximum tracking build here. We need to place these properly and just have all the information we'll ever need. Like, we know exactly where this ghost is. We got all the sensors, baby. We have Voodoo Doll. We could use Dots and Voodoo. Wait a minute.
Wait. Okay.
What if we... I mean, we could also use Patience, but Patience is for babies. Not really. No, babies don't have a lot of patience generally, but... We could wait for writing, but now the fact that we would have to get writing, you know? Okay, so it's actually around here, or what that mean? Okay, so it is here. I don't know if it's in the living room. We need to pinpoint. We need to pinpoint. Before we start going crazy with this, we need to pinpoint. I think it's living room. Yeah, it's living room. Okay. So we're gonna place... Turn off the light. Please don't be ghost event. It's not a ghost event. Okay. It was just turning off the lights, which is... doesn't really tell us anything about any ghosts. But what we can do now is we can place this and this. You can place the motion sensor right there. And then as soon as it steps on the motion sensor, I can pull the pin and get dots. How about that? This sounds like a plan. I will also just instantly die if it's Okay, here we go. Come on. Wait, are you going in here now, you piece of garbage? Oh, come on, man. It's roaming so much. The good part about the fact that it's roaming so much is that we probably don't have to be too scared that it's a Goryo, and we won't be able to see the dots. Now, it might just not be dots, you know? so it might be bad. Where is it? There? Well then. Holy shit. Okay. Step on it.
Wow. Now there's a fast.
Come on. I'm right clicking. As soon as you step on this motion sensor. It's gonna be an instant heart pin. I'm gonna scream and die. We're not getting early hunted, so it's probably not a demon. We also know it's not a combination of fingerprints. Okay, let me look. It's also not any of these ghosts. It's not a Jin Hantu or the Mimic, probably, because both those evidence are not showing up for us. No freezing, no fingerprints. Now it could hide one of them,
so at least if
but it couldn't hide both of
is
them.
hostile,
You can't
it's not
pick one
gonna
piston
keep
push
it that way.
Oh fuck! I just.
And I'll
Alright,
be
we
able
have to
to,
wait. God damn it.
shoot Bobby then.
I just dropped it to see if it was still here.
I got a full minigun. I want to keep the minigun.
Come on. Come on, baby, do it. Step on that motion sensor. You know you want to. Yes. I'm here. I can be here all day, baby. Oh my god, it worked! Holy shit! It actually fucking
Now
worked,
here I thought I
bro!
sent you to scout out Pikmin Gallery.
Dude!
Exactly what part of that sounded like
Oh.
my strong room to you?
Shit. We know it's not a Phantom, we know it's not an Oni, we have Salt for Ray, we have Paramite for Banshee, we
I
have
made a mistake.
Doors for
You're
Yurei,
damn right
we
you
have
did.
Sound for Yokai,
No
and we
one
have
steals
our
from
Dying
me.
for Raichu.
But I gotta admit,
Actually,
you and Bobby pulled one hell of a job. Almost makes me wish I had done it myself. Now, if it was just the money, I'd rough you up, break a few bones. But you killed Fahrenheit. That means blood for blood. Fortunately, you track her down, put a knife in her, and get back my, let's see, 1,000 caps.
1,000?
And we'll pretend this
I
was
didn't even get 600.
So it is doing that.
1,000 caps?
You really do.
Did you take one of these? No? No.
I'm not sure if I have the charisma. Hold on. Let me just.
Okay, it stepped right in front of this motion sensor. I'm just gonna back up and take this photo.
-1, so I'm still at 8 or 9.
Wait.
But I do have that.
It might be rated. We don't have a UV, so we have to use our photos.
That's still a whole lot of...
You don't know when to quit.
Yes. Okay.
It's not doing any salt anymore, though.
I already took care of Bobby.
No shit. Well, aren't you productive? Now, let's talk about 500 caps.
Waiting.
Blurred out.
I'll pay.
The look on your face. This thing with Bobby had to be done, but damn, look at me. I turned into the man, putting down people's freedom. I gotta take a walk, get back in touch. That's why I've decided I'm coming with you. Hitting my strong room proves you've got it.
It's not. It might actually be rated.
Why would you want to come with me when I help?
Hell, I kill all kinds of people and shake hands with their friends afterwards. You know how many boys used to have old Finn's back? Now don't get me wrong. Fahrenheit and me had history. And if this was a personal hit, killing you would be priority number one. But I know you were just trying to get a job done.
Glad to have you with me.
Before we head out, I gotta have a little chat with...
Okay, listen.
Okay, that's cool.
Cleo.
Every weapon you see here could be the difference between...
I've got a few minutes to browse.
Purchase a variety in case of boredom.
It's just walking on like normal. We're down. That was also not an early hunt, so I'm not thinking yokai here. Obviously not Goryo. Banshee, we had the Paramite for a while. Okay? Here goes, please. Do it, man. shots. It's out here. Step in the salt, please. Do it. It's over here. Just walk in front of that salt. Give it to me. Or scream. Dude, this is the game. This is a good one. Because this is why this is such an interesting challenge, because you get like such a random assortment of tools that you just have to deal with whatever the heck you're given. We just got a crucifix charge. Double. Uh-oh. It's walking over there. Can you please step on the salt over here, sir? I mean, it might just be right, because we definitely have footsteps in front of the motion sensor, and I took a photo of the whole area and didn't get any. Now it's either another ghost that just doesn't do any feet, but the Wraith also has less chance to do feet. Like, it's never been Banshee yells. Only just normal shit. Come on. I'm staying a bit away from the ghost because I don't want to just get hunted right on top of it. Are you serious? It's spamming.
Holy Skamori, it ain't true, is it? You ripped off Hancock? You got a death wish or something?
Hey, everybody, gather up. Got something you all need to hear.
Luckily, it can't step in salt when it's in hunting mode. It can only step in salt when
walks the streets. Calling all Silver Shroud fans. Once in a lifetime announcement. The Silver Shroud returns and he's gonna clean up the streets. Everyone's learned how ways to live. Sell me and her kid. Over a few lousy caps. Death is coming for you, Wade.
It's not a base.
Galaxy.
It's not a base.
News. Radio.
He definitely stepped right away.
What's with the fancy guts?
I'm gonna do this. Take a photo.
What I found in these
It has to be. It has to be.
Your crime. What the hell's wrong with you? You mess with me, you're really good at this. Too good.
Slowly now. Reveal yourself.
Friend of the show, Jerry, is here.
Is this thing on? Low.
And don't let no
Hello?
one forget it.
It's on.
We're recording in here. It's lost in the sauce.
Oh no! Death
Oh,
is coming
man.
for me! The Silver Shroud in the
Now, the
flesh.
unfortunate part
Oh,
about
no.
this
Death
is that
is
we got
coming
so
for
unlucky
me.
with the objectives
How Wild West of you.
that we probably won't break
Great.
the level. So we
Silver
have
Shroud's
to do...
dispatched justice already. Miss Selmy has been avenged.
Shit, the Shroud off Wayne? Wait, so this guy's actually for real?
Because we didn't get any objectives.
better
I
believe
didn't
it.
think that was possible. We got so unlucky with that. It has
So,
to be
Jerry,
right, though.
Go on.
Like,
Tell the listeners about what we're talking about.
Right. So, AJ, you know, the chem dealer by Bobby, he's doing good for himself. Since he's got a whole new market. Hancock.
It is a raid.
He runs things.
Now,
His
let's
garbage
see.
chems, he's just
How
breaking
close
into
are we?
caps.
Did we make it?
Hear that? Sounds like the Silver
We
Shroud
did
has
make it.
another
Never
bad
mind.
one to
You
deal
get
with.
that much experience?
Hey,
From
look at the
just
clown.
getting the ghost on that.
This is my turf, clown.
Perfect. We landed
And
on
I
it.
don't
We
appreciate
beat the
what you
game.
call
Now,
them.
that's success. That was an interesting
AJ's selling
eight
kids.
ghost events.
His chems have
We're in the ghost room a lot here. Very, very talkative ghost on the paramic. We had the absolute
Someone was-
perfect
What?
salt getting
Oh,
Fluxman.
What the hell, right?
We would have been stuck for a long time. We would have had to do a yokai test, which the yokai
Fine,
test
whatever,
basically
if you don't
requires
Well, you win.
had the two logs for Paramount holding. Now, Banshee, I kind of ruled out because Banshee screams a ton. The Banshee scream, by the way, I'll let you hear it in for the
Silver Shroud's bringing justice to good neighbor. You bad guys better look out. And now, a special update. The villainous assassin Kendra was recently spotted at the third rail. The same Kendra who bombed little Joe Shack and killed 4 innocent drifters.
That's a Banshee. We didn't
If you
hear
want to
that
see the
as
Silver Shroud in action, stay near Whitechapel Charlie.
Besides that, we knew it
The
was
Shroud's
the
sure to
because
interrogate
the photo
him
we
and find
knew it wasn't legit
his
because it
whereabouts.
turned off the breaker sometimes.
Yeah,
These are the
right?
things you're looking for. Very fun game. Challenging game. Voodoo actually came in super nicely. With the, like, placing a motion sensor right above the dots and then using the voodoo doll as it triggers the motion sensor. Because, so basically the voodoo doll, how it works, is it has 3 phases that it checks. First, it checks if it can touch the door. Because there's a 60% chance it will touch the door. If it doesn't do that, it moves to the next bracket. In that bracket, it has a 50% chance to interact with evidence. If it doesn't do that, it moves to the last bracket where it will always try to interact
Charlie.
Light way for paying customers.
Come on, darling.
Wankers from the
It's right
post.
through here.
If you want to get thrown, turn off the light.
You.
Shroud then. Kendra is not one to be trifled with. People associated with all set on me.
It is not wild.
Justice. Yeah, for the point of
We got 3 motion sensors.
Nah,
And, like, one
relax,
evidence
boss.
item.
She's all right. Ain't you all right, Wendy? Sydney?
Oh my god. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
It's Candy. And yeah, of course I'm all right. I'm just a young, dumb girl in love with a handsome, dangerous man.
Ah, brother. All right. The skirt can stay. But close that door. Last thing we need is...
The Silver Shroud, infiltrating your nefarious lair.
You ain't black. We choose truth over facts. I want to be clear. I'm not going nuts.
Holy cannoli! It's the nightmare of night! The deceptive detective!
Another special update.
fuck is
No, it wasn't Bobby No-Nos who offed AJ and his dudes. It was the Silver Shroud. See his calling card if you don't believe me. Now's our time, listeners. Justice is coming to good neighbor. You'll see.
It's time to tie up a
Galaxy News Radio.
We visited Nuka USA. One was from Sierra Petrovita, champion a haystack, and the other was from Mira, precious metals. To complete precious metals, we have to track down a part
When evil walks the streets of Austin, one man lurks in the shadows, shielding the
Oh,
innocent.
you staying with us today? Renter sends no expectation of privacy or safety for you or your belongings.
Into the robots.
All right, here's your money.
Top floor.
But to sum up, we find one.
That's all of them. Fat face, bots have been sent back to the mechanical hell that spawned them.
Yes, my colored companion. And no, robotic hellspawn they were. But not Fat Faves. For he himself presented facts. Someone else is actually...
The master of it all. You're right. But who? Dearest mistress of mysteries, you and I have battled Boston's rogue for years. This is someone new.
Certainly. But which criminal culprit has the technological know-how to construct such clockwork calamities? I don't...
The next one in Kitty Kingdom is that Nuka Racers.
You don't know anything. Yeah, right. But I do see. And I'll tell you too. On one condition. By the shadowed streets of Southie, one of the mob bot's heads is still talking.
The next one is in the Safari Adventure. We find it in Captain's Treehouse. Captain's Treehouse is at the center of a hedge maze.
You know how right I am. I can't feel my legs.
Sweet my power armor here. I gotta go back his way.
But I still got my kisses, and I'm gonna use it to tell you where the big boss man is.
Once we've collected all of the medallions, we can head back to Nuka USA and turn them into Nira.
Hi there. Got a full set of park medallions. So you do. Why, that's just Nuka-tastic.
Here's your special reward. What else would you like to know? No questions for now. In that case, thanks for error. Malfunction.
You're still here? Get the hell out of my face, you miserable, dough-sniffing dirt scratcher!
System restored. Have a great day.
We complete precious metals, but our reward for doing so is 1 Nuka-Cola Dark, 1 Nuka Grape, and 1 Nuka-Cola Quantum. How disappointing! What an underwhelming quest. But then again, it is a pre-war scavenger hunt.
And your one condition?
I guess it does make sense.
You take my head with you,
but
so I can see you take that creep down.
Something better for
yeah,
us.
what did he ever do for me, huh?
No
kidding.
And
So he
told us why
created
she
me.
was here.
Whoop-de-doo. Who needs a father who sends his kids out to die?
Silver Shroud, I sense truth in this clockwork crook. Shall I?
Use your blade of bastard to free the Muppet's head from its now destroyed body.
On the back of one of the southern gravestones.
Sweet freedom! Thanks, Dollface! Now tell us, who is your creator? The rope-butting puppet master pulling your twisted wires? Speak, you decapitated electronic evildoer!
Built in the employee section behind it, and here on a wall next to the gate, employees only sign is the
Shoot him!
That was a load of fun! See yourself! This big feet! And a big warehouse down at Pier 12!
Fine, you amoral automaton. Or away!
You might want to wipe the blood off anything you find there.
In an unguarded skylight. Just what we needed to stealthily infiltrate this warehouse.
Yes, and our view from above is advantageous, for the gathering below is unlike any soiree I've ever seen.
You must be Kendra.
And you're the
All
crazy
shapes and sizes.
Randomizer code. You have no idea.
Another robot, no.
I do so like it when the bug crawls willingly into the spider's web.
Shut up, you dummies. Us robots
Are you an assassin?
No, I'm paid to make big, bold statements.
Who's your...
A walking corpse like you.
We stand tonight at the dawn of a new era. For too long, the human vermin of Boston have destroyed this fair city. The flesh is weak, but steel is strong. You, my children, will usher in a new age, an age of robots, led by me, your father, the Mechanist.
The Mechanist. So, evil does have a name.
The revolution begins tonight, my precious offspring. But first, let us welcome our special guests for this evening. Silver Shroud and the Mistress of Mystery.
Simpler than I was expecting. Contest was meant for kids. Oh, yeah.
What will become of our stalwart hero? Find out what happens next week on another exciting episode of The Silver Shroud.
Little Brandy.
You've been listening to Galaxy News Radio, a wholly owned subsidiary of Galaxy News Network.
So let's just assume it's
Galaxy News Radio.
Hold on. We haven't got
When evil walks the streets of Boston, one man lurks in the shadows, shielding the innocent, judging the guilty. That guardian is the Silver Shroud. Today's episode, The Mechanist Unmasked.
That correspond to the word refreshing. You did all the work looking for the hidden pattern.
Dangling
You should be the one to get
over a
down to the toes.
pit of fire. Reminds me of our adventure against the Chelsea Mendler, mistress.
Indeed, stalwart shroud. But that malformed murderer was but a muppet compared to the malignancy of the mechanist.
Am I? No, mistress of mystery. What you mistake for evil is actually enlightenment.
Door's unlocked. Let's go inside.
As soon as we enter, Sierra races through reception, into an adjoining room, and up a staircase. This top level must be his office, and here she must just walk around. But before we explore up here, let's explore downstairs. Now, savvy viewers will recall that I've done a video on this place before. But last time, my game was suffering from a horrifying bug. A bug that robbed us of most of the story. The bug was not unique to my game. I've seen people complaining about it all over the place. To this day, I don't know why some of my characters have this bug when they enter the office and others don't. But thankfully, the bug did not appear with this character. So I'm gonna take the opportunity now to explore all the lore we find here, even if it means
Only I, the mechanist, truly understand the folly of humankind. The flesh is weak. Metal is the future of Massachusetts.
A small Nuka Cola display case. A standard Nuka Cola, a cherry, and a quantum. We can take these. We see a bottle statue, a Nuka Cola machine in the corner, and Brad Burton's desk to the northeast with a Nuka Cola on it. We also find a Nuka World contest flyer. This has all of the camp in a haystack clues that were on the holotape that Sierra gave us. And next to this is a holotape labeled
In regards to Nuka Cola production, I think it's obvious that we need to take a step back, examine the fact. Project Cobalt dropped $1 million laps, so I think it's best to leverage the potential popularity for someone else reasons to market. Additionally, storing it with numerous both flavors would cost us a pretty penny, and I'd rather use the funds to co-fund it. We also have our unmarked flavored Elixir, and neither will now have to market two other common flavors. All these factors take into account. I have no choice but to hold off Nuka Cola clear production for at least the next 2 fiscal years.
In that video, we wondered why they had the formula here in this plant, but the drink never went into production. This holotape clears it all up, with Project Cobalt, Nuka Cola Quantum, and the as of yet unnamed other lemon-lime flavored Nuka Cola drink all under production. They were just busy. Checking out Brad Burton's terminal, we see that from here he was able to monitor the world's progress.
Seems we have a tip. Another day, and night, and day, etc. Fighting! Great.
Hi. Some very bad people may be coming. It's not safe here.
Please, don't come any closer. I don't know you. Just go away.
Clear.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm sorry. I had no reason to do that.
The Galactic Zone to overhaul the Star Control mainframe and its robots, and I have to say I am taken aback by the suggestion. If there's one thing I've taught you, it's that no matter how tough things get, we never give up. Tell the manager over there that he'll just have to hunker down and make do with what he has. I've poured billions into that park, and I'm not about to watch it trickle away by closing the gates. As far as disarming the robots in the park, that's also a no. If things go south at Nuka World, that force of robots is the only protection we have. Cooperating with Robco was the only way I could get that type of weaponry allowed outside of a military base. So suck it up and get whatever is named moving over there to fix this problem. This is a direct response to an intramail we read while exploring Star Control in the Galactic Zone. An urgent message from Penning over at Starport Nuka. The manager over there complained that the advanced Star Control system by Robco didn't work very well with the older model Protectrons currently used in the park. Since those Protectrons were given military-grade weapons, he's really concerned that something letter to his supervisor didn't get a response. Letter directly to John Gilbert. Looks like Brad Burton's executive assistant, Peyton Huxley, agreed with the manager at the Galactic Zone, even going as far as to put together a proposal for shutting down the Galactic Zone. But it was John Gilbert Bradford himself who said no. Up until this point, I was willing to give John Gilbert Bradford the benefit of the doubt. After all, he was preoccupied
I wonder
with
who
Cobalt,
or
and I admire
what
him. He's a
they're
visionary
protecting
with
against.
his own heart. But now I know that he personally chose to be reckless with the lives of workers and the park attendants in order to maximize his profits. In the next one, an email from L.B. Shelton, Security Department. Sir, I've noticed you were busted and informed all security personnel about our problem with the EMA. We're the best we can. It's far away from Safari Adventure as possible. We're understaffed. I need everything.
Galaxy News Radio.
Have yet to replace them.
When evil walks the streets of Boston, one man lurks in the shadows, shielding the innocent, judging the guilty. That guardian is the Silver Shroud. Today's episode, a slaying in Scully Square.
Just down this alley.
Well, well, well. Looks like someone got lost on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah, wrong side of the tracks. I'm just meeting a friend. No business of yours. Perhaps I'll just call him. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Not so fast, fancy pants. Your wallet and that snazzy briefcase you carry. Hand them over, now.
I mean, 500 cats is 500 cats,
Have
but
any idea who?
I guess.
Oh, jeez Louise. Why'd you go and do that?
Because he could have made us, that's why. You want to spend another stretch in the pokey? Now, let's see what's in this fancy case.
In the next one, incoming mail from Kate Levitt, Beveragier Division. Sir, I appreciate your enthusiasm over the quantum beverage idea, but I really think we should run more tests before we just send it out to the market. The isotope that we're using is strontium, which is
Another headliner. Hancock seeks a special meeting with our hero, the Silver Shroud. Whatever it's about, be careful, Shroud. We're all with you.
Galaxy News Radio.
When evil walks the streets of Boston, one man lurks in the
Mayor
shadows,
Hancock?
So, you ready to get this show on the road?
That guardian is the Silver Shroud.
Let's do it.
Good. You're traveling with Hancock.
Uh-huh.
Slowly now.
Heads up.
Yourself.
What do you need?
Silver Shroud. Fret not, old friend. It's only me.
Mistress of
Hey
mystery.
there.
Want me back on deck, huh? I got
Such
it.
a foul night.
Let's go then.
I'm all ready to go.
Taking up with this guy.
Funeral. I don't think I packed it.
So he wasn't in some kind of official capacity.
Hardly. Here, let me show you.
Handcuff.
The contents
who it is.
of the late mayor's
Out again?
case.
You still interested in...
Leases and deeds for most of the businesses in Scarlet Square.
Indeed they are, my intrepid investigator. It would seem our Mayor Murphy was involved in a rather crooked caper. He was here to meet with some other mysterious malefactor.
So, Mr. Mayor, I hope you found the place all... What the? Silver Shroud! And Mistress of Mystery? And the Mayor?
Except for one bottle
Dead?
in the ruins of Hopeville. And then to explain all of the Nuka content we find here in Boston, we must conclude that Boston, like DC, was a test market.
Fight Fady, the infamous mob boss. So, you were meeting with Mayor Murphy. But why?
So, you ready to get this show on the road?
Not now.
Suit yourself.
Listen to my friend, Fahey.
Stay free, man.
Hey, Hancock.
Look who it is.
Are in over your head.
Out again?
So,
Not now. Suit yourself.
Really?
Don't ask questions. For everyone.
Shroud. Shroud this crime fighter.
Not a lot of folks that travel with a ghoul.
Later, suckers.
Silver Shroud, you're shot.
Just a graze. You must go after him.
So, you ready to get this show on the road?
No, we'll let our quarry flee for now. That bullet
Not now.
must
Suit yourself.
and you're bleeding.
Handcuff.
Look who it is.
Must get back to my...
This wasn't some
Hush now,
oversight by
Stoic
a
Shroud.
mid-level
I'll
researcher,
take you to my
and the cheese
parlor.
baskets with
It
some
is closed,
uppercut response
and that
by
wound
some middle
is
manager. They were sent
The
by
parlor.
Bradburton's personal
It's
assistant
been so
and
long.
Bradburton himself.
Indeed it
Raised him
has,
for
old
it.
friend.
How
Old
could such a visionary
That's
build
right.
such an amazing
Take it all
park
in.
have so
And
little
now,
basic
we must away.
backing out of the
What will become of our stalwart hero? Find out what happens next week on another exciting episode of The Silver Shroud. You've been listening to Galaxy News Radio, a wholly owned subsidiary of Galaxy.
Looks like my dazzling personality got another one.
tribute walkthroughs.
When evil walks the streets of Boston, one man lurks in the shadows.
Unhelpful with this glitch that I wondered if I was the only one experiencing it. I couldn't complete that deal because one of the checkpoints required talking to Ada.
Can't help staring, huh?
The glitch by dismissing Ada for another companion, talking to her when she wasn't a companion, which oddly seemed to work, and bringing her back on as a companion. So the no-talk glitch was purely limited to initiating the talk channel with your current companion, not with NPCs or dismissing. But for the most part, I haven't had that much need to talk to companions, and therefore didn't enjoy my walkthroughs that much going forward. That's why you haven't heard me talk about it for the last year or so. But alas, after all this time, by a stroke of pure coincidence, I figured out what had caused the glitch and how to solve it. Now, I totally realize this video may not be useful to my regular viewers who may never have experienced the glitch or even knew it existed, but I wanted to make this video anyway to help those out who are experiencing the glitch or may encounter it in their playthrough at some point.
The mistress maneuvered. I knew of the mayor's misdeeds for many days. I followed him to that fateful meeting with Fat Fate. I was about
You
to...
still interested in traveling together?
I think I could.
Of course, I was so hooked on the game that by the time New Vegas came out, I just immediately bought that game and hit the shelves and have been a super fan ever since. But anyway, some of you may have seen a video I put out over a year and a half ago on how to fix the stuck in place glitch. In fact, some of you prized that video has gotten over 50,000 views, hasn't true for my normal content. I wanted to go ahead and post it just in case you see
That's right. Take it all in.
So what I decided to do early in my playthrough is leave Preston Garvey and Minutemen inside the Museum of Freedom and just not complete their quests. There's so much more you can do with the game. You don't have to complete every quest, especially with NPCs as annoying as them. And as far as I've gotten, at least in the main story quest, there's no hardbound reason why you have to finish Preston's quest at all. I already made a video on how to
Looks like my dazzling personality got another one.
for the Minutemen. So I basically just left him in there on the bottom floor after killing that Deathclaw roaming around Concord. But I made a mistake that I didn't even
realize until just the other day. I had started some dialogue with Preston and walked away before finishing it. I had basically left him in mid-sentence because I didn't want him to leave the museum. Kinda wanted to keep him contained.
Can't help staring, huh?
That was the origin of this glitch. Now that's not going to be a problem with settlers or traders or even really most NPCs in the game. But if there are any characters related to the main story quest that you walk away from mid-sentence, then it has the potential of creating this glitch. I wish I could explain why this happens from a coding perspective, but I can't. My guess is that the companion talk function is perhaps a subroutine built on the same coding structure that the essential main storyline NPC dialogue is built on, and thus breaking the continuity chain with one somehow breaks it with the others. Because, like I said, it doesn't happen with any other type of character in the game. You don't have to worry about walking away from a merchant or buddy, the drinking buddy, or anything like that. It's only a specific type
Let's
of
do it.
quest-related.
You're traveling with Hank?
So, if you're having this problem, you try to retrace your steps, and if it's not Preston that's been left hanging, then it could be someone else in an important quest that got left hanging. That should narrow it down to less than a dozen
Heads up.
possibilities, which is totally manageable. Now, unlike that
Look alive. Look alive. Hey. Hey.
What you got?
Exciting episode of The Silver Shroud. You've been listening to Galaxy News Radio, a wholly owned subsidiary of Galaxy News Network.
Galaxy News Radio.
When evil walks the streets of Boston, one man lurks in the shadows, shielding the innocent, judging the guilty. That guardian is the Silver Shroud. Today's episode, Fat Fahey's Folly.
Come on, Dollface. It's right through here.
Over here.
Aw, gee, Polly. I ain't never been in a secret gangsta hideout before.
Paulie, you dumb jamo. What's the big idea? Bringing a dame into our hideout. Into my hideout. Nah, relax, boss. She's all right. Ain't you all right, Wendy? Sydney? Yeah.
It's Candy. And yeah, of course I'm all right. I'm just a young, dumb girl in love with a handsome, dangerous man.
Hey.
I take requests.
Heads up. Heads up. Look alive. Look alive. Hey. 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 Heads up. Heads up. Look alive. Look alive. Hey. Hey. Hey.
Shoot.
Heads up. Heads up. Look alive. Look alive. Hey. Hey. Hey.
Just say the word.
Paulie, you idiot. You were duped. That's no normal dame.
Quite right, you custodian of criminality. For I am not
Heads
Candy,
up.
the captivating
Got my attention.
companion. It is I, the mistress of mystery. I have clouded Polly's paltry perceptions to gain access to your den of depravity.
Heads up.
Shoot.
Oh, I hope this isn't too far back.
We're going to have a conversation with Mr. Morowski about
When evil walks the streets of Boston, one man lurks in the shadows,
come on, Claire, what I
shielding
do
the
this
innocent,
It's
judging
what you're
the
not
guilty.
doing.
That
You're
guardian
supposed to
is
stay in that
the
lab of
Silver
yours making
Shroud.
those chems.
Today's episode, a slaying in Scully Square.
Just down this alley.
Well, well, well. Looks like someone got lost on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah, wrong side of the tracks.
I'm just meeting a friend. No business of yours. Perhaps I'll just call him. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Not so fast, fancy pants.
Air's nicer
Your wallet.
here in the lobby.
And that snazzy
Besides,
briefcase you
don't you
carry.
like having my
Hand 'em
smiling
over.
company?
Now.
No.